What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another Manchester City live stream, where today we're going to be doing the live stream watch-along of Man City's game against Crystal Palace away from home in the Premier League. A difficult away game, getting even more difficult for Manchester City today in the absence of Jeremy Doku, who misses this game with a leg injury. Not in the squad for Man City. We'll speak and digest more about that in just one moment. So, if you are enjoying the content, guys, then please do subscribe to my channel. As you can see from the live subscriber count, we're now less than 700 subs away from my goal of 48,000 subscribers. So, any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on today's stream. We're aiming for 100 likes. We're nearly a fifth of our way there. We've got 82 likes to go, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. And do get your thoughts in the comments below if you're watching this after the stream, or get your thoughts in the live chat. Included in the live chat, you can also go and leave your vote about who you think is going to win today's game. Do you think it's going to be a Crystal Palace win? Do you think it's going to be a Man City win? Or do you think this game is going to end in a draw? Now, welcome RTD Edits. Thank you for tuning. We'll speak about Marmoush. We'll speak about Ait-Nouri. We'll speak about the African Cup of Nations coming up as well in just one moment when we speak about the teams. Welcome, Barry. Thanks for tuning in. I like the positivity from Barry there. I reckon City have got this. Fingers crossed that we have. We're 5 points behind Arsenal. Arsenal picked up let's say a dodgy win yesterday against Wolves, needing a couple of own goals. And obviously the 94th minute winner in terms of that own goal to beat Wolves yesterday, bottom of the league on just 2 points. It's a game that really should have been a formality for Arsenal. And I'd put on X yesterday, cracks are starting to appear for Arsenal. And I'm convinced more than ever that if we can get this Arsenal side under consistent pressure, week after week after week, we will crack them sooner rather than later. So we've just got to keep that pressure on. We've got that gap down to 2 points. Arsenal have sent it back to 5 yesterday with their win against Wolves. We've got to follow that with a very difficult away win here against Crystal Palace, because mark my words, Arsenal, the players, the coaches, the fans, they'll be watching this and they'll be marking this Crystal Palace away game as a potential game where Man City drop points. So if they're earmarking this as a game that we're going to drop points and we can win this game, that's a blow for Arsenal. That gap again goes from 5 back down to 2. And Arsenal's schedule, you have a look at it, through the end of December and through January, isn't very easy. So we've just got to stick with them. And I'm convinced if you can just stick with Arsenal, they will crack under pressure. And I can see it happening sooner rather than later. So for me, this is a crucial game. Arguably the most crucial game we've had so far this season. If we want to win the Premier League, I feel like, you've got to come to these difficult places and win. And it's something that City have struggled with in the Premier League. Aston Villa away, obviously lost that game. Newcastle away, lost that game as well. Crystal Palace, very good side, sitting in the top half of the table, trying to compete for a potential European spot next season. It's a team that we've got to come to and win, who are in fine form away from home. At home, though, have been a little hit and miss over the last few weeks. Lost the last game in the Premier League against Man United by 2-1. So we've got to just dig deep and find any which way to win. We're at that part of the season where it's any which way to win. And December, for me, decides Premier Leagues. You have a good December, you stand a very good chance of winning the Premier League. You have a bad December, and you can find yourself going from a title contender to a team that's now no longer in title contention. So December's a huge month. You've just got to find that run of form. And, after back-to-back defeats in the Premier League and Champions League, when we came back after the November international break, to follow that up with 4 wins in a row, won our last 3 Premier League games, beat Real Madrid away in midweek as well. City are in a good spot, good confidence. They've got to come in, believe in themselves, and do what they need to do to win this game. And I believe that City can do it. City played well today, a 10 out of 10 performance. We will win. We will win this game. We can't afford to drop below that standard. We saw that in the FA Cup final. I didn't think we played a bad game against Palace. We didn't put our opportunities away. It wasn't a 10 out of 10 performance, and Crystal Palace beat us and they won the FA Cup. So I'm wondering, psychologically, is that going to get to Man City today? We'll see. As I said, Arsenal will have earmarked this as a game where they think City are going to drop points. So we've got to prove them wrong. We've got to win this game. This game is the biggest Premier League game that we've had this season as far as I'm concerned. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of hours. I'm hoping we can be back to within 2 points of Arsenal and we can move on to our next Premier League game, a home match against West Ham next weekend. So we'll see. All Things Football, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We do need to keep the pressure on Arsenal. Barely beat Wolves. Showing signs of cracking. We've got to keep on them. Keep on them. I'm convinced we can crack them. And I said, sooner rather than later. Samuel, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Do hope you're well, my friend. Corey, welcome. Going with a 3-1 Man City win today. Fantastic. I will take a 3-1 win every day of the week. So get your score predictions, guys, in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from as well. Dave, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Going with a City 4-1 easy win. Says, hope you beat Brentford in the Cup, but hope that they beat Rob the Rats Wolves on Saturday. I'm sure you'll be happy with Wolves scoring a late goal yesterday to lose against Arsenal then, with obviously not enjoying that his team Middlesbrough, the manager left to go to Wolves, which is what the comment is there. Ricardo, welcome, thank you for tuning in as well. And RTD, we'll speak about Marmoush now because we are going to speak about the team. So we're going to have a look at the lineups. We'll start first with our opponents, which of course is Crystal Palace. Let's not forget they played, they've had less preparation and less rest than what we've had. So fatigue and lack of rotation, it's not really an excuse for Man City here. Crystal Palace did do a bit of rotation in their match against Shelbourne on Thursday night in the Europa Conference League. They still managed to win that game, and they've got good confidence and a few well-rested players, whilst other first-team players aren't as well-rested. They'll be feeling the fatigue of the season. City are feeling the fatigue of the season as well. We've just got to apply ourselves. So, we'll have a look then at Crystal Palace and their starting 11 for today's game. So, Crystal Palace lining up with Dean Henderson in goal. I've just gone on Sky Sports website. I don't like how they do their lineup. Just give me 1 second. I'll find a better way to have a speak about the Crystal Palace team, and in particular the Man City team, because I'm intrigued about who everyone's got, where they've got the players marked out. Right, so Dean Henderson starting in goal. It's a back three made up of Richards, Lacroix and Guehi. So they're going with a 3-4-2-1 formation, which is what we see Crystal Palace go with several times under Oliver Glasner, their manager. Nathaniel Clyne starts on the right with Mitchell starting on the left. It's a big blow for them having Munoz out injured. However, they'll take good confidence into midfield because they've got Wharton, Kamada, Sarr's fit and ready to start this game. He starts on the right-hand side, Pino on the left-hand side. And, of course, the informed Mateta starts up top. So I'm looking at Crystal Palace and I'm thinking, some interesting midfield battles there. Adam Wharton, Kamada, got plenty of quality in attack, Sarr, Pino and Mateta. So we need to find ways of trying to keep that midfield quiet, trying to make sure that Sarr and Pino aren't involved too much in the game and we can isolate Mateta from this match. I mean, let's not forget, I expect Nathaniel Clyne and Mitchell will be looking to try and stretch the pitch and get forward as well. However, not having Munoz, who's a more attacking player than Nathaniel Clyne, I do just wonder if Crystal Palace may just want that to form into a back five rather than a back three, as they're going to look to try and keep the likes of Rayan Cherki, Erling, Haaland, Phil Foden, Tijjani Reijnders, Bernardo Silva, etc. quiet, so they may want to go more defensive, but if they do want to attack, then they have got them options, and I think Munoz not being available is a big blow for Crystal Palace, so we'll see how that plays out on the Crystal Palace right-hand side and Man City's left-hand side. It's one of them games where I would like to have seen Jeremy Doku fit and starting, because I would like to have seen a good one-to-one battle with Nathaniel Clyne and Jeremy Doku. I'm sure Richards would be looking to try and stretch that pitch as well, and I think City may just have a couple of things in their locker about them trying to centralise themselves rather than using the width. So the width, I think, today is going to come from Man City's fullbacks, which we'll speak about the team for Man City in just one moment. Just having a look at the substitute bench for Crystal Palace. They've got Jefferson, Lerma on the bench. You've got Eddie Nketiah, unlucky to miss out. You've got Uchi, you've got Will Hughes, you've got Esse, you've got Cannavo, you've got Sosa, you've got Benitez, and you've also got Devaney as well. Now for Manchester City, lining up with a 4-3-2-1 formation. It's Gianluigi Donnarumma starting in goal. It's a back four made up of Matheus Nunes on the right, Nico O'Reilly on the left, and Ruben Dias and Josko Gvardiol starting as Man City's two centre-backs. Our normal back four, our settled back four. not a surprise to see it again. I know there was a couple of question marks about the recovery time and just how fit and how sharp is Nico O'Reilly. He looked very tired towards the end of the Real Madrid game, but obviously feels like he's fresh enough here to start this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nico O'Reilly come off at some point in the second half, and I suspect if you want to tighten things up on that left-hand side, it could be Nathan Ake that comes in. And if City wanting to attack and get players forward, then I think Rayan Ait-Nouri could be a good option, in particular in the absence of Jeremy Doku, and you want players to try and get further forward on that left-hand side. Now, it's a midfield three made up of Nico Gonzalez, Bernardo Silva and Tijjani Reijnders. Again, a pretty familiar midfield three for Manchester City. Again, I had some concerns about Nico Gonzalez. We've not got Rodri available. He's not in the squad for Man City today, so he isn't fully fit. I don't know when he's going to be fully fit, and I am concerned about the condition of Nico Gonzalez and him picking up an injury, because we've just not got many ways for him to rotate. I imagine we'll look to try and find a way to rotate him midweek for our game against Brentford in the League Cup, and I imagine it will be wholesale changes for Man City for that game as well, so we know that we're nice and sharp for the games pre-Christmas Day and post-Christmas Day, because games come over the festive period thick and fast, and the schedule is brutal with a capital B. A front three made up today of Rayan Cherki, Phil Foden and Erling Haaland. A very strong team. The only real change, Jeremy Doku. Pep Guardiola has confirmed he's got a leg injury. I don't know any other extent to the injury other than he's got a leg injury. I am going to presume by the fact that he's not in the squad that he's not going to be fit for midweek and the game against Brentford, so he's going to be missing at least another game. He might be back for the game against West Ham, he might not. I don't know what the leg injury is and how long that recovery time is going to be. I'll wait for further clarity on that, either in Pep's post-match press conference today, or we might get further clarity on that in the build-up to the Brentford game midweek. If not then, maybe before the West Ham game. We'll see. On the bench for Man City today, you've got James Trafford, Nathan Ake, Omar Marmoush, Rayan Ait-Nouri, Savinho, Abdukodir Khusanov, Oscar Bobb, Divin Makasa and Rico Lewis. Firstly, Divin Makasa, nice to see him on the bench, nice to see some academy lads on the bench. He may well end up getting minutes. I suspect that I'd put Makasa in a good position to be starting that League Cup quarter-final game against Brentford midweek, even if he doesn't get any minutes from this game, and that will be his opportunity to showcase what he can do. And because we've got Omar Marmoush and Rayan Ait-Nouri heading to the African Cup of Nations after this game against Crystal Palace, both Ait-Nouri and Omar Marmoush are not going to be available for the Brentford game, and they're probably not going to be available for us until January, maybe even into early February, depending on, of course, how far Egypt and Algeria get in the African Cup of Nations. So I would have thought if City were looking for any rotation, they wouldn't hesitate to try and get some minutes from Marmoush and Ait-Nouri before they head to the African Cup of Nations, because you just don't want to run the risk of injury to any of the other players. So, for example, Jeremy Doku not starting this game, I felt today would have been a good way for Omar Marmoush to have been starting. I just wonder if Pep Guardiola is thinking to himself, he knows he's not going to have Marmoush for the next month or two, that he wants to have a look at alternatives for Man City instead, and Marmoush is just going to be a player that's available if we need him, rather than wanting to utilise him. And I think that's the same with Rayan Ait-Nouri as well. I imagine that Marmoush and Ait-Nouri will want to pick up an injury. They will want to represent their country at the African Cup of Nations. So I would be surprised if we see Marmoush or Ait-Nouri in this game, because if we were, you know, I'm concerned about Nico O'Reilly. This would have been a good time for Ait-Nouri to have started, and in the absence of Jeremy Doku, this would have been a good time for Marmoush to have started. Neither have started, so I'm not entirely convinced we'll see them in this game, and I think it's all to do with the African Cup of Nations. If they weren't going on international duty after this game, I think there would have been a potential of Ait-Nouri maybe starting this game, or maybe Marmoush potentially starting this game on that left-hand side. And I think that's why they're not starting this game, even though we've got some concerns in the squad. And because of that, I think City will be looking at players they know are going to be available, because they want to make them sharper over the next few weeks, because we could have some absentees, including Doku. He might be out for a few weeks or months. I don't know what the extent of the injury is, which means we're going to be relying on having players available who can play out wide, and with no Marmoush, that leaves your options pretty much as Oscar Bobb and Savinho. So I would be very surprised if we didn't see some minutes today for Oscar Bobb and or Savinho, because I think these are the players that City are going to be looking at over the next month or two for players to try and make a difference until we get these players back from the African Cup of Nations. Same can be said with Rayan Ait-Nouri. Got a good option in Nathan Ake that can help cover on that left-hand side. So I imagine that if Ake was to leave Man City in the upcoming January window, I think City would want to try and get that sorted maybe towards the second half of the window rather than the first half to basically ease the congestion and pressure on the squad of having them suitable quality options from the bench. Rico Lewis could be in line for getting some minutes. Khusanov could be another option as well in the absence of Ait-Nouri. But we are looking further ahead. These are things for us to worry about after this game. For this game, we do have Ait-Nouri, we do have Marmoush. They are options, and I am surprised to not see them start. And I think Pep's not starting them, and I don't think we're going to see many minutes from them unless we really need them in this game, because he wants to have a look at other players in the squad, because he knows he's not going to have Marmoush and Ait-Nouri for the next month and a half. And also, I'm sure Marmoush and Ait-Nouri won't want to pick up any unnecessary injuries that will keep them out of the African Cup of Nations, because Marmoush will want to represent Egypt and Ait-Nouri will want to represent Algeria as well, which is what I think is going on with the squad. And I think with what we see on the bench, and obviously Jeremy Doku having that leg injury and Ait-Nouri and Marmoush not being options, I wonder just how strong is that team going to be against Brentford, because we did a full rotation for our game against Bayer Leverkusen last month. We've not done any rotation really since then. So I suspect that City will want to take their opportunity to do a full rotation against Brentford. It could be a case where Man City maybe do 5 or 6 changes against Brentford, and then there's another 5 or 6 changes for the game against West Ham if they think that they're comfortable and confident enough that they can go out and beat West Ham whilst making that many changes. It's just when City make that many changes, it looks a bit disjointed. And if you are going to rotate, ideally it's going to be 2 or 3 players at a time, and that's something we do normally see from City. It's nothing that we haven't seen it this season. And I do wonder if Pep Guardiola just maybe has some question marks about Man City's depth and squad options. So we'll see. Obviously, it doesn't help with Kovacic and John Stones and Rodri having injuries and they're not available. It'd be good to have them as options to help with the squad. But this is why we've got a squad of 25 players to help put us in a position where we can go out, compete, and get the big wins in the big away games and keep that pressure onto Arsenal as well. Ricardo reckons a 2-0 Man City win. Daxter, thanks for tuning in. I don't have the live broadcasting routes for Premier League games, so no, the game won't be shown, I'm afraid. Alfonso, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. John, not happy with Man City's midfield. What are you not happy with, John? Do let us know. I like people's opinions and stuff. Don't be scared to express your opinions. I like talking points, whether people might think they're real crazy or whether you think that they're dead sensible. I know I regard my channel as a good safe space for people to be able to express their opinions. So don't hold back. If you're not happy with the midfield, do let me know. We'll talk about it. Barry, thanks for tuning in. Reckons Khusanov should be playing. Give him some love. Nunes in front. I mean, Nunes could be an option for City out wide. We saw it last season, and I actually don't think Nunes was too bad on that left wing for City. Obviously, we've not got the option of Jack Grealish because he's now out on loan at Everton. So that isn't such a crazy thought that you could see Khusanov and Rico Lewis rotated on that right-hand side, and in the absence of Doku, see Nunes head further upfield because he can play on the left and can play on the right as well. So that's an interesting theory. Brian, of course, Mateta and Sarr, nice and fresh, recently back from small knocks, fit and available. The City will have to find ways to keep them quiet. Got to keep them quiet. Barry says he likes Marmoush, he likes whipping in the corners. To be fair, I don't think our corners have been too bad over the last few games, and we've not really seen many minutes from Marmoush. So, Foden's corners haven't been too bad at the minute, if I'm honest. RTD, it is a good game to be able to watch Marc Guehi. It'll be a good answer for the top clubs watching Guehi ahead of the January transfer window to see how he gets on against a very good Man City side, obviously. Lots of people cheering on Man City, which is good to see. RTD, you never know. It might well be a move for Guehi in January. You never know. So, guys, just before we do have kickoff, don't forget, get your voting on the poll. 83% of you guys thinking Man City winning this game. Lots of positivity. 13% with a Crystal Palace win. 3% going with a draw. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. We're now just 22 likes away from 50. Also, don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the chat. Where you're tuning in from today and what your score predictions are. My score prediction, City edge it 2-1. I reckon first half goal today for Phil Foden. Crystal Palace will equalise through a corner. I'm going with Marc Guehi, by the way, to score that goal. And then I'm going for a second half corner goal for City. I'm going to back Ruben Dias. Why not? We'll see. Tito is a very strong midfield battle, and Man City have got to make their midfield battles count. A very physical side, Crystal Palace, like Villa are, like Newcastle are. Games that we lost, so we've got to match that physicality. We've got to match it. Jean, thanks for tuning in. The raindrop kit. I'm hoping this might be the last time we see the raindrop kit, but yeah, I'm not hopeful of that. But here we are. I'm hoping it's not going to be bad luck today. I really hope not. I feel like if we drop points today, that rain kit needs binning off. Spider, thanks for tuning in. Jeremy Doku injured with a leg injury, so not in the squad for today's game. A blow for Man City, no doubt. As the players make their way out of the tunnel onto the pitch at Selhurst Park ahead of this Premier League game in the sunshine down in London. Palace fans making some good noise. They'll be well up for this. They'll want to be able to showcase what they can do. Want to make some noise. Try and see if they can pick up a big scalp in Man City. Man City have just got to stick with it. I'd spend the first... Normally I encourage City to try and get off to a quick start. I'd spend the first 10-15 minutes just trying to deal and settle ourselves in with this game. Get a feel of Crystal Palace, where the battles are, what the battles are looking like. And then push from there is what I would be personally looking to do for this match. The last thing I think we need is a bit of a ding-dong battle, which is what we had in our away game against Fulham. So, yeah. Daxstar did just answer the question. I don't have the broadcasting rights to be able to show the game, so I'm afraid not. Jean, a fan of the cheerleaders, one of the very few clubs that do have cheerleaders. I know there's a few NFL teams in the United States that have started getting rid of cheerleaders as well, which I think is a great shame because clearly the people that are doing the cheerleading enjoy doing the job and they do their job very well. So, yeah. The darts have kept hold of the cheerleaders, but they get rid of the walk-on girls. And I'm fairly sure they had some kind of thing going on at the Formula One, but I'm not entirely sure if they've got rid of the people who do the cheerleading and all that stuff at the Formula One. Yeah, up for debate, I'm sure. Right, nearly ready for kick-off. Big game, this one. Real big game. I will be keeping an eye on the other scores. I'd appreciate the chat keeping an eye on the scores as well, in particular at Tyne-Wear Derby. Don't really get the broadcasting selections this week. What was it? Burnley, Fulham. Is it Brentford, Leeds? I think they've got on later today. Not sure why the Tyne-Wear Derby is being played at the same time as some very interesting Premier League games, including this Palace City game. But you know, here we are. RTD, I've not decided on the schedules for the World Cup. I'm able to put some procedures in place where I'll be able to at least watch the World Cup games. I make it work for the NFL, so I don't really see how I can't make it work to watch the World Cup for a month, to be honest. You know, it's never really bothered me watching big NFL playoff games and, you know, the Super Bowl and things through January and February. So, obviously, because I do this part-time, I have to confirm that with work to make sure that I am able to watch the game. So, we'll see. Dave, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, keep spoilers. Admins, bin them off. Anyone spoiling the game, kick them out of the stream for me, please. I'm watching on Now TV rather than Sky Sports, and Now TV is about like 30 seconds behind Sky Sports. So some of you guys are going to be ahead of me, and I'd appreciate you not spoiling it for me, because it not only ruins the experience for everybody watching, it also ruins my reaction for the stream as well. And I'm very unappreciative of people spoiling things for others. Not cool. So no spoilers. Anyone spoiling, out the stream. Mods, be on it. Have I made you a mod, Dave? There you go, Dave. I'll make you a mod. I'm not sure if I already had you as a mod. I probably could do with a couple more mods to help with it as well, to be fair. Yeah. Right, anyway, kick-off time. Let's go. Crystal Palace getting us underway for the game. They're attacking from right to left, with City attacking from left to right. Crystal Palace playing in their blue and red stripes, as Mateta could have been in. And it's a good sliding challenge there from City, and eventually the offside flag goes up. Yeah, Crystal Palace playing in their blue and red stripes, blue shorts and blue socks. Manchester City playing in their rain kits today, which is like a grey, like a grey coloured shirt, shorts, and fluorescent yellow socks. So early warning signs there. Crystal Palace looking for the early press against Man City. RTD, I have been to Scotland a few times, yes. Been with my friend to go and watch a Dundee United game, because he's a big Dundee United fan, so I've been up to Dundee. Went up there for his wedding as well. Oh, City could be in here now. Tijjani Reijnders plays his pass across to Cherki in the penalty area. Nunes is going to have a shot, and it's blocked. Yeah, I've been to Dundee a couple of times. I've been to Edinburgh. I've not been to Glasgow yet. I will, but I've not been there yet. Nice country. Very nice country. Oh, wow. RTD says, women's team beating Villa 6-1. That's crazy. Adrian, thanks for tuning in. Right, I've just made a few of you guys who regularly tune in moderators, just to help with spoilers, because I'm going to end up being a few seconds behind everyone. I don't want people spoiling it. So anyone's like spoiling it, kick them out of the chat for me, please. There's a few of you guys that tune in stream on stream, so I know you guys are trustworthy. So I've made a few of you moderators. It stops everyone spamming me for can I be a mod. Bunny Shaw scored 4 goals. Oh, wow. Adrian, a fan of the rain kit. RTD says, always thought today was Rico Lewis's game. I'm amazed that we're not doing 2 or 3 players being rotated game on game to avoid us doing a full rotation. And we're going to have to do a full rotation against Brentford. So I won't be surprised to see us go out of the Cup against Brentford, which I wonder if maybe Man City have just had a look at the FA Cup draw, and, you know, we've got Exeter City. I think they're in League One. They are in League One. At home in the 3rd round, and City, I think that's a good passage for us, that, you know, we should on paper be making it to the 4th round, and City might want to take the FA Cup more seriously than the League Cup. But, you know, League Cup, we're in the quarter-final. Win that game, you're 2 good results. Is it 2 legs still, the semi-final of the League Cup? I'm not sure. But yeah, you know, you're a couple of good results away from the League Cup final, a major trophy, and a day out at Wembley. So, yeah. Adrian says, West Ham 1-0 up against Aston Villa. That'll do. That's good news. It's good news. Not good, so good news, you know, because we play West Ham next in the Premier League. But good news that Aston Villa on course to maybe drop points today. Loads of time left in the game, though. They're all 2 p.m. GMT kickoff times. And there's 4 games. Got the time where Derby is another. Also, this game, I'm not sure who the other game is. Might be 3 games. I can't remember. Here's Rayan Cherki. He's been pressed as City just knocking the ball around. Plays his pass to Donnarumma as we get a notification for that West Ham goal. Actually get to see the goal, actually. Put it in a little box, which is good. Oh, that's a good bit of interception. It's a cracker of a finish. Who's that? Not sure who that is. Fernandez. There you go, after a minute. Fernandez after a minute. West Ham are 1-0 up. City then can't thread their pass through for Haaland. Crystal Palace just sitting off City at the minute. Happy for City to have possession. Happy to try and make it so City aren't able to create all too much as long ball gets dinked forward. Header comes down there from Lacroix, and that will be a Crystal Palace ball. Henderson's picked up the ball. First time we've seen Dean Henderson since the controversies of that FA Cup final against City. Long ball gets sent forward. Josko Gvardiol, second attempt, wins the ball for City as Matheus Nunes just turns and pushes his way forward. It's going to be a difficult game today. Says we thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. I hope you're well. So guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well, that would be great. 5 minutes in here at Selhurst Park, 0-0. Is Ruben Dias for Manchester City. To Josko Gvardiol. Looking to just try and break forward. And City get themselves a throw-in. Nothing really to report on here first 5 minutes. City got into one good area before with that Matheus Nunes shot, and Crystal Palace in the first few seconds tried to force and press City into a mistake, which the offside flag went up. And other than that, there's nothing really to report on for this game at the minute. Kovacic, thanks for tuning in. Here's Mateta getting his foot onto the ball. City do a good job in just getting that one clear. Header won there by Nathaniel Clyne. Nico Gonzalez gets his head onto it. It's a good turn there from Haaland, and Tijjani Reijnders takes a touch round his man. Marked up well there by Palace. Nico Gonzalez, nice and physical, wins the ball back there for City, does very well. Here's Rayan Cherki. His pass clips the heels of Tijjani Reijnders. I think he was looking for that to be further in front of Tijjani Reijnders. Either that or he's looking for a pass for Foden. I'm in Greater Manchester, and it's currently spitting, I think. It's raining a little bit. Adrian says 2-0 today would ease the pain of that FA Cup final. Felt like City were cheated that day. Yeah, very frustrating. Says it would be good to get 3 points for City today. We'll see. We will see. So I think we've got the City physios going on. I think Josko Gvardiol's just got an elbow to the head, albeit accidental. So physios have gone on. I imagine they'll do a little concussion check as well. Kusic says Messi is in Mumbai. I saw that, didn't he? Like, on the pitch for like 20 minutes or something, and there were like riots in the stands, people ripping out seats because Lionel Messi only did 20 minutes or something. I'd seen that he was in India. Adrian says, I'm sad to see Doku injured. Thomas Tuchel in the stands. He got himself a pick and mix. See what he pulls out the bag. A pick and mix. There you go. Heard it here first. Thomas Tuchel likes a pick and mix. Do you know what? I reckon it'll be in the hospitality areas. I reckon as part of the hospitality package, you'll get like a free bag of sweets. So he's picked up his bag of sweets to eat in the stands, feeling a bit peckish. His pick and mix. I wonder what he's got in his pick and mix. Cola bottles, bananas, sweet and sours. Yeah, Josko Gvardiol just getting a little concussion check. RTD says he expects Savinho to really benefit from Tijjani Reijnders in the long run. Reijnders really knows how to make the most out of the wingers, e.g. his time with Rafael Leao at the San Siro of AC Milan. Tijjani Reijnders is a very good player. You know, it's just going to take a couple of seasons for him to embed himself in. Savinho I think he's a confidence player. Just needs to take confidence from when he does things right. You know, focus on the things that he does right and continue to build and work on that. I do feel like Savinho's like Doku. He just needs a couple of goals, a couple of assists, and he'll be away. That's what I reckon. Right, Josko Gvardiol's back up. He looks to have gone for his concussion test and seems okay. And we can continue to play. We're going to have to wait a few seconds for Josko Gvardiol to be allowed to come back on. So in the meantime, City are just taking the time with the ball. Surprised Crystal Palace aren't taking the opportunity here to try and press Man City into a mistake while we're down to 10 men for Can't be much longer now. Surely Josko Gvardiol can come back onto the pitch. Bernardo Silva gives the ball away and he's waved on now. But Crystal Palace has still managed to get extra body on, and Palace could be in here, and City managed to get a foot onto that. Not got it fully clear though, and shot comes in and goes wide. And that goes out for a goal kick. So City being put under pressure. Now, that all comes about from that stupid injury rule about, it's not Josko Gvardiol's fault that he's had an elbow to the head and he's got to wait 30 seconds ready to come on. And because of that, we're momentarily down to 10 men. And we're missing an extra body at the back, which Crystal Palace nearly capitalised upon. There was an offside, I think, in the build-up to that, so it wouldn't have counted. But, there's the dangers. And Nathaniel Clyne, I'm wondering how often is he going to get forward now he's not got Jeremy Doku to go up against. And as Sizwi says there, that's Munoz. You fancy he comes forward, he might score a goal as Haaland doing excellent hold-up play. Just runs out of room, and Wharton does... gets a very important touch on that, just to get that further clear for Palace. Adrian says Villa have found an equaliser. That's of no surprise. West Ham are in bother about being relegated. They really are in bother as far as I'm concerned. So guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. We're now just 16 likes away from 50. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe. That would be much appreciated. Odin, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, right, here's Ruben Dias. RTD said he'd love City to sign Marc Guehi. That's a good ball pivoted over here for Tijjani Reijnders, and he gets Man City's first corner of today's game off Lacroix. Purple, welcome, thanks for tuning in. A corner incoming here for City. Just as a reminder for everyone, remember... I'm watching on Now TV, so I'm about 30 seconds behind real time if you've not already sussed it out. So I would appreciate nobody spoiling it for me today. And, obviously we don't want anyone spoiling it for anyone. So anyone spoiling, mods are here. Get rid. Here's Foden. Corner comes in. Headed clear. Back to Nico G. Here's Matheus Nunes. So looks like nothing's amounted from that corner for City. Josko Gvardiol stayed forward and he might have to get back here because that was a wayward pass. City do well to find the pass to Cherki. We do need to find the win, Purple, just to get that gap back to 2 points. It'll be a big blow for Arsenal. They're left feeling relieved, I think, more so than anything else. After yesterday's dodgy win against Wolves. And Arsenal will be looking at that saying, you know what, we hope Palace can do us a favour because at the end of the day, football's all about results. So it's up to City to find that win. And all that pressure back onto Arsenal. It was a good finish, that Villa goal, actually. Is that Ollie Watkins with the goal, the equaliser? 1-1. Dan Van, thanks for tuning in. Do hope you're well, my friend. Oh, it's gone down as Mavropanos' own goal. There you go. Tijjani Reijnders there then misses out for City, and Crystal Palace can pick up the ball on this right-hand side. Here's Nathaniel Clyne, just goes backwards to Richards. Left-footed crossfield pass comes in looking for Matheus Nunes. Gets that under control. He does well for that not to hit his arm. It's the upper part of his chest just next to his arm there. He does well just to get that under control. And there's Ruben Dias then for Man City to bring us forward. It's been a very uneventful game this so far. As I think it's just looking for a bit of quality. At the moment, it's a very careful game. I did say I could sense this first half being a bit of a careful game where City want to try and sort out the physicality of Crystal Palace and suss a way out into this game. As that's a lovely bit of football there from Josko Gvardiol. And him bursting forward gives City just a teeny-weeny bit of space. The problem is Josko Gvardiol couldn't get his foot onto the end of the ball to get that off Richards and out for a throw-in for City. And Richards does well there, to be fair, for Crystal Palace. And he gets them a throw-in. Here's Palace then having to drop deep, like Sarr's having to drop really deep to get hold of the ball. I've seen Pino just moaning about, having to drop deep and get the ball and they're getting no service, and Palace having to just go long. The physicality of Mateta is causing City some bother. at the moment. They've not really, Palace at the minute, found a way to get the other attackers involved on Mateta's hold-up play. Here's Dean Henderson then. Nice pivoted pass there from Marc Guehi. He seems to be growing in a lot of confidence. You imagine he'll probably be off to the World Cup with England, as not the best of passes there from Palace, and that will go out of play for a throw-in for Manchester City. Kameda, the one with his wayward pass. RTD reckons a 3-0 win for City. Marmoush to get 2 goals in the second half to come off the bench. You see, I'll be surprised if we see Marmoush come off the pitch. Come onto the pitch, sorry. City do a foul throw. It's poor. Real poor. And now Crystal Palace have got themselves a throw-in inside the City half, and we've got to drop everybody deep now. Fortunately, Palace haven't done anything with it. They've just given the ball straight back as a long ball comes forward. Haaland can't get a touch on that. Palace will get that clear through Guehi. He just knocks the ball long. Matheus Nunes puts his foot onto that, and he'll just put that out of play for a throw into Crystal Palace. So through the first 16 minutes, not really, again, much to report on. Adam Wharton dinks a ball through here, looking for the offside trap. Palace should score. They hit the crossbar. Does the offside flag go up? It should score there. I don't know if the offside flag's gone up or not. That's a real chance for Palace if this isn't offside. A real chance. And a bit of tight one. Would have been a tight one. I don't think the offside flag ever went up, so counts as a shot on a hit onto the crossbar, that. A real opportunity that for Crystal Palace. A real opportunity. Pino it was with the opportunity, and Palace again into the area. Another shot comes in, and it's blocked well by City, and a couple of moments of madness there from Manchester City. Ball just given away there by, was that Ruben Dias? And City just start to panic at the back and struggling to get the numbers back. In the end, a scuffed clearance from Nico O'Reilly fell fortunately into the arms of Donnarumma, who plays his goal kick to Matheus Nunes. City just working this from the back. Here comes the Crystal Palace press, and City just give the ball back again. City have got to do better under pressure. Here's Bernardo, and that'll be a free kick, and that'll take all the pressure off. If there's any consolation there for Palace hitting the bar, my instinct is I think he was just offside. So had that ball gone in the net, the on-field decision was onside, and I think it would have been ruled out for offside through VAR. There's Matheus Nunes and Rayan Cherki not on the same wavelength there. Interestingly, Dean Henderson keeps that one in, doesn't choose to waste time. There's a good ball that from Wharton, though, into the space. He should score there, Pino. He really should score. It's a bad miss. Really bad miss. Just couldn't keep it down. As I said before, what's wild about that is, for me, it looked offside. So I had VAR had a look at it, and it was ruled offside. Crystal Palace have had a shot off target, and it's classed as hitting the crossbar. If he'd put it in the net, it had accounted as a shot on target and a goal before getting chalked off, and no shot would have happened in terms of the statistics. The shot does go down on the statistics, though, because VAR weren't needed. I would like to know if it was offside. I'd like to have another look at it. At the moment, 3 other games: Sunderland 0, Newcastle 0, Forest 0, Spurs 0, and West Ham 1, Aston Villa 1. 0-0 here between Crystal Palace and Manchester City. RTD says he recognises the name Yeremy Pino. He's the guy from Villarreal. Thinks City wanted him and Buena, but wow, he's ended up at Palace. I don't remember being linked with Pino. I remember being linked with Bueno. City get linked with everyone. we do look confused in possession. I think it just shows how important Jeremy Doku is to, if a team's going to try and press us and force mistakes, Jeremy Doku's a useful outlet. You get the ball to him on the left and you have, the opposition's defence terrified. Here's Pino into the box, causing loads of problems. He goes down. Referee says no penalty. It's just a coming together there. Pino now starting to make things happen, and Crystal Palace starting to move their attacks from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. It was Nico Gonzalez dispossessed there by Pino. Yeah, it's weak. Nothing in that. No penalty. City just... I've had this concern before. We look a bit weak at times. Really weak. There's a poor pass there from Josko Gvardiol. I don't know who we're looking for, but this left-hand side's becoming a bit of a concern because, I reckon Doku's picked up an injury in training because it looks like they've been working on something with Doku and Doku's not here. And the link-up play on this left-hand side just looks confusing, like they don't know what's going on. I do wonder if they might have just been better going with a like-for-like. I know you guys might not like it, but they might have been better just going with Savinho. Savinho is probably the closest player we've got to Doku. Not as quick, but probably a player that's quite similar to Doku. Wants to drive forward, carry the ball, twist and turn, run at defenders. I can't help but feel like this would be a useful thing for us to have in this game, along with better passing, because our passing's been a bit wayward at the minute. But that could improve here with Nico O'Reilly into the penalty area. Goes to Josko Gvardiol. Wharton gets a foot onto that. Bernardo Silva's had to drop deep. Gets a pass from Nico Gonzalez. Bernardo then to Josko Gvardiol. Back to Bernardo. Ball being played here in the Palace half on the left-hand side. City now working it through the centre. Haaland can't find his pass to Tijjani Reijnders. And here's Mateta then. He's dispossessed well by Nico Gonzalez. Rayan Cherki wants to... That's a beautiful ball, and City unlucky not to get on the end of that. Is that Tijjani Reijnders just couldn't get his shot away there. Nice little ball dinked over by Rayan Cherki. Nearly on the money, that. Tijjani Reijnders just couldn't quite get his foot onto that one, unfortunately. I do feel like Cherki, with how technical he is, would be a player that would flourish playing more through the centre than out wide. I always feel like in these physical games, you're best with direct wingers. Wingers who are going to run at defenders. Wingers who are going to get the defence onto the back foot. Because at the minute, Haaland's having to get involved in the game. He has to drop deep. And it's so congested in that central area. There's a lot of width. I mean, Nunes don't want to get forward because they've got quicker attackers, Palace. That's a good threaded ball through. And a shot comes in, and it's... was that a shot? Was that a cross? It's gone right across the area there by... I think it was Sarr. Good direct run. City's defence stretched again. Yeah, looking for a cross, I think, rather than the shot. Looking for Mateta. Ruben... Would he have had that covered? I'm not sure. City's distribution's been well off. Absolutely well off. Lots of wayward passes. Giving the ball back needlessly. City are so much better on the ball than what they've been so far in these first 24 minutes. Palace have looked strong. Palace have looked the better team. Anyway, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 100 likes. We're now just 12 likes away from 50. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe. I do also go and check out my social media links. You can find them in the description. And don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the live chat. What have you made so far of the opening 24 minutes? The first half of the first half. What have you made of it so far? Palace have been very physical. They've not tested Donnarumma yet. They've hit the crossbar. I think they'd have been offside in the build-up, though. City haven't really mustered up any opportunities. City's midfield's been getting bullied around. Not really found too many ways to link up to Tijjani Reijnders and Erling Haaland. Again, just looking a bit rusty. Here's a pass gets played. Advantage played for City, though, when Bernardo Silva can't play his pass in. And Mateta does well there. Does really well. Turns Foden. Drives forward. Finds his pass. And finds his pass well. Can Palace get the shot away? Mateta can, and it's straight at Donnarumma. I think, yeah, it was offside in the build-up there. So referee's just played the advantage. So that wouldn't have counted had it gone in. We are going to miss Ederson's distribution. He's very important to City. It's also important to have a good shot stopper. Someone who's going to save shots when they go in. And I think Donnarumma is an improvement on Ederson. I don't think Donnarumma's been amazing for City so far this season. I think Donnarumma has been a bit sceptical on set play. Thankfully, we've not conceded many set pieces. I think he's been a bit sceptical on that. And certainly not as good as Ederson on the distribution. Here's Nunes. Cross comes in. Beats everybody. Nico O'Reilly picks it up at the back of the Palace penalty area. Dinks another ball in. Palace do deal with it. Here's Matheus Nunes then to Nico G. Yeah, Nico G is looking a bit tired, RTD. Barry, I'd like to see Marmoush in. Adrian says, West Ham now 2-1 up. Jared Bowen with a goal. Good game that at the London Stadium. City now just knocking the ball around a bit smoother. Foden's dropping a bit deeper now to try and help with these little transitions through defence and midfield. City thought about just playing a little dinked ball forward, but they probably sensibly opt against it. Here's Ruben Dias then to Nico O'Reilly. Finds Nico G. Here's Ruben Dias. Back to Nico G. That's a good pass and good find here for Nico O'Reilly. Has a bit of space to drive into. Here's Cherki. To Ruben Dias. Here's Matheus Nunes. Man City yet to register a shot in the first 27 minutes. Been a bit too careful. Now's a good time to start trying to make things happen, and that should be a free kick for City, and is. Right, let's have a look at this Bowen goal then for West Ham. West Ham wanted a penalty. Referee says no. Cross comes in. Holds to the edge of the area. And he's just there at this right place at the right time. He looks offside. Dave says Forest 1-0 up. Who's Forest got? Spurs, isn't it? He's just clattered into there, isn't he? Nico G by Richards. Adrian says Donnarumma been sketchy, not sceptical. I mean, is there a difference? I have my doubts about Donnarumma on these set pieces. He's been sketchy on them set pieces. And I am sceptical about them. Chuck, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Is that Chuck, the New York Knicks fan? If it is, big shout out to you, Chuck. Hope you're well, my friend. Free kick here then for City. Maybe we can register our first shot of the game. Cherki stood over it. And Foden. Looks like it suits the left foot of Foden, and he has a shot, and keeper makes the save. Our first shot. We had a shot. That's good. That's progress. Offside flag goes up now. So the shot still counts. Wicked bend on that from Phil Foden. Tijjani Reijnders, I think it was. Offside. He is, yeah. You should never be offside on set pieces. To be fair, Tijjani Reijnders never looked across the line, which is a bit poor of him. Chuck, pleasure to have you here as well. Henderson sends this one long. Header should be won by Nico G and is. Let's have a look at this Forest goal then. distribution error. Oh, it's ugly. That's well worked. A very ugly goal for Spurs to concede. Dave's not happy with Tijjani Reijnders, wants him off. It's Callum Hudson-Odoi with a goal for Nottingham Forest. Been a bit underwhelming, Forest, so far this season. Maybe just looking to get their season going, if they can find a way to beat Spurs. Odin, it's not been great first half an hour. So guys, don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here, and do leave a thumbs up. We're now into the 40s, just 10 likes to go to 50. Any help towards that would be great. That's a good challenge there from Nico G, and that's a equally as good challenge. City are complaining about it, but for me that's as equally as a good challenge there that came in from Kamada. So yeah, physical game this one. Physical game. I think Palace have been the better team. They've created opportunities. They've knocked the ball around nicely. They've challenged City. City look more unsettled than Palace do. And Palace will take a lot of confidence from how they've played here first half an hour. I think City have just been a bit patient. I did say at the beginning of the stream though that I could see City just, maybe utilising this first half to get more information about what a Palace going to do. And I don't think it'd be the worst thing for City to, if we can, get this to 0-0 at half time. And then look for a bigger second half, fresher legs to come off the bench, and use our analysts to say, where's it going wrong? Because at the minute, Palace, we're just basically meeting a brick wall in midfield, and I don't think we've got enough width. And I think City will start to turn towards, if we need to, the likes of Marmoush, the likes of Bobb, the likes of Savinho second half, fresh legs as well. So that might just be City's game, stick with Palace and hope that as the game goes on, they start to get the tired legs. And you use the players who are fresh on the bench to potentially make that difference. City, just for me, are being a bit careful. Cherki gets kicked. No free kick, though. I'm not too sure on the injury extent for Doku. And we don't have enough strength. We know we've not got enough strength in midfield, and it's something that City need to look at either in the winter window or definitely next summer. More likely next summer when you see probably Kovacic and Bernardo Silva leave, and you can add a bit more physicality into that midfield, and we can sort out what's happening long term with Rodri as well. Here's Palace then just driving forward. Adam Wharton, one of them physical players that City have been getting linked with actually. He plays a nice ball forward, and a dink shot comes in, and manages to do well to get that over Donnarumma there, Ismaila Sarr, but ends up going past the keeper, past the goal, and to no avail for Crystal Palace. Again, would have been offside there, Sarr. City aren't to know that. Donnarumma does well, just rushing out there to narrow that angle. Forces Sarr to have to not take any touches and has to take it first time and rush it, and doesn't get it right. So, whilst I said I had my concerns about Donnarumma, Donnarumma does very well there in just narrowing that angle and forcing Ismaila Sarr to take that effort on without taking any touches and rush it. And making the angle tighter and tighter, putting the attacker under pressure, ends up rushing his shot and doesn't get it right. So had the offside flag not gone up, that would have been a good bit of goalkeeping. Cherki does ever so well there to bypass Adam Wharton, and he finds his pass here to Tijjani Reijnders on the City left. The problem is City are just meeting a brick wall in midfield and meeting a brick wall in defence. And the attackers are dropping deep, and they're doing ever so well, the Crystal Palace attackers dropping deep and getting players forward. Here comes Mitchell. I mean, this is all to do with the tactics of what Palace like to use, utilising the likes of Mitchell and Nathaniel Clyne to just basically spread the play. So you've always got players in positions to, either drop deep if you need to, if City are attacking, or, get players forward if they want to attack. So at the moment, yeah, I think I'm going to go as far to say I agree with Odin. Crystal Palace have been the better team. They've created the better opportunities. I mean, Palace will be a bit frustrated that they've not scored, and it wouldn't surprise anybody, I don't think, if the goal was to come in, that Crystal Palace were to score it. At the moment, City are just off the pace. They don't have the answer. You know, we struggled with this at Wembley last season as well. We didn't have the answer there, and we've not got the answer either here. Nico G fouls Adam Wharton there. City not happy after Rayan Cherki thought he were fouled. Adam Wharton's done ever so well. You know, I spoke about in my preview, you know, the likes of Guehi and Adam Wharton, they know that Man City are interested and other big teams are interested. So they're going to raise their game. And this is an excellent way for the likes of Wharton and Guehi to showcase to Pep, to showcase to Man City of, look what I'm capable of. Because if it does get to a point where, you know, Guehi and Wharton, you know, Crystal Palace are a fantastic club. Fantastic club. But if they want to push their career to get to the highest level possible, they're going to want to be playing in the Champions League and winning Premier Leagues. And, you know, Crystal Palace won an FA Cup. I can't see them anytime soon anyway, making a top 4 spot on a regular basis and winning the biggest trophies. So the biggest and best players that Palace have got, they'll, you know, like Eze has, they'll start looking towards making the moves to the big teams, and you know, Guehi and Wharton will be looking towards that. And you know, Guehi, Wharton's going to have the shot. You know, Wharton, Guehi, Mateta, Sarr, Pino. You know, the best players that Palace have got, they've all looked very good. They have looked very, very good. They're a good team, a real good team. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see Palace, you know, finishing another European spot. Hopefully get the paperwork sorted this time so they don't have to get booted out of the bigger Europa League conference to play in the Europa Conference League. As was their right, but didn't sort the paperwork out, so they ended up getting demoted, which I think was a big shame. Yeah, City's defence not been great. Not been great. It's the distribution, I think. Distribution's just not been very good from City at the minute. And they're struggling. They're struggling to get Haaland involved in this game. Here's Bernardo. Can they make something happen here? Here's Rayan Cherki. City definitely missing a bit of attack, pace in attackers. It's not a bad ball in that from Cherki. Well defended. There's Nunes. He goes down. He wants a free kick. He's going to get a free kick. It's a bit of a weak free kick. Yeah, it's a heavy touch. He gives the ball away. He gets the contact. He goes down. Pino not happy about it. There's minimal in that between Matheus Nunes and Pino. That's not a free kick. Not for me. He's aggressive. He comes in. He leads a bit of a barge, but there's nothing more in it than that. I'd have been very angry if that were the opposite way, and Palace had themselves a cheap free kick in a good area. So a set piece. Can City utilise their set piece? They've been utilising them ish over the last few weeks. So can they continue that today? Cherki just plays a ball in, headed across, dealt with by Palace. It's a bit predictable and a bit easy for Palace to deal with. You know, City need to be a bit smarter, move the ball a little quicker. Very well defended there by Mitchell. He gets the ball clear. Matheus Nunes then picks it up for City. We've got, 7 minutes or so left of this first half. So don't forget, guys, leave a thumbs up now. Just 6 likes away from 50. And don't forget to subscribe. Mark, thanks for tuning in. Missing Kevin. Kevin De Bruyne, Apashuma, not just Kevin. There are a few players knocking around now that are just called Kevin. Fulham had one on the bench. Just Kevin. That's it. As far as it goes, just Kevin. Into the final 6 minutes. RTD wants to see Marmoush and Savinho. And I don't think it will be too long before you see at least one of them players. We're crying out for a bit of pace and directness. For it be De Bruyne. I'm just teasing you there, Mark. I know who you meant. Odin. Reijnders will come good. He's a real good central midfielder. You don't get midfielder of the year in Serie A without being a very good midfielder. It's just going to take a bit of time for him to adapt and, pick up his feet. And after a couple of seasons, I've no doubt that he will be there. Here's Rayan Cherki then. Gives the ball to Matheus Nunes. Here's Ruben Dias. I wonder if this might be like the Sunderland game we could do with like a Ruben Dias rocket. Something to test Dean Henderson, because it's been very, very careful from City here first half. Matheus Nunes, he puts a cross in. It's deep. Haaland! The man's inevitable. The man is absolutely... He's not just inevitable, he's incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's a beauty of a cross. And it's a cracking header. And City haven't, I think Palace have been the better team so far. And yet it's City that lead. The patient build-up, it works. And big Erling Haaland's there to just, boomf, nod home for Manchester City. 1-0 City lead. Good stuff. Good stuff. We'll just wait to change the score as soon as I know that everyone's onside. I can't see how Haaland wouldn't be onside. It's a beauty of a ball from Matheus Nunes. A beauty of a ball. And Haaland, scored against Real Madrid from the spot, under pressure, on Wednesday evening. And he's there, making things happen for Manchester City, 41 minutes in as well. Man City will consider that to be, their patient build-up. Working wonders. Is that MCFC lads that I just saw right in the background of Haaland scoring there? Anyway, Andy and Alison, thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Says, stood at a bus stop in Wet York and the Andy good luck rub struck again. Love that. Thanks for tuning in, Andy. Do hope you're well. And Alison, of course, as well. Moaka, thank you for tuning in. It's a Haaland goal for Manchester City today. And also, thank you very much, chat, for not spoiling that. I know I'm about 30 seconds behind real time. No one spoiled it, which is fantastic stuff, so I appreciate that. Dave, I'd settle for anything that gives us 3 points. Anything, literally anything. So Manchester City then. A few minutes to go to half-time. Lead here by a goal to 0. Can we get to 50 likes? Just 3 away, guys. 3 away. 3 minutes to go till we're going to added time here as well. Here is Tijjani Reijnders then. Finds Phil Foden to Josko Gvardiol. Crystal Palace will regard this as a good time for them just to try and press it and force a mistake from City. Mark, thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Yeah, I know a few of you guys just pause the stream that you're watching on just to make sure you get it in real time. That's a cracker of a ball looking for Mateta. And Donnarumma's out and he gets a big hand onto it. He's got to get back in goal because Palace have kept this in. Cross comes in. Header won by City and need to get this one clear. They haven't got this clear. Here comes the next wave. Yeah, a few people just link up. That's why I put the clock on so you can link up the time. So, sometimes I might be ahead of people and I don't want to spoil it for you guys and vice versa as well. Some people like to be a little bit ahead and, they'll wait for the reaction. All depends on what people like to do. Oh, that's a lovely ball. And City have allowed Mateta just to get in and get the shot, and Donnarumma makes the save. And Dunn, thanks for tuning in. Do hope you're well. Let's have a look. Not a penalty for me. Donnarumma gets his hand onto the ball. Donnarumma doesn't get the ball. It would be a penalty, but he gets his hand onto the ball, so not a penalty for me. Here's Josko Gvardiol. It's a lovely pass to Tijjani Reijnders. Tijjani Reijnders lights that pass, and City are on a 2-on-2 here. And Tijjani Reijnders does so well, and he grabs his hand. You see, that was more of a free kick than the one on Rayan Cherki a couple of minutes ago. Anyway, we entered into the last 30 seconds before we hit added time. We're just 2 likes, guys, away from 50. Can we hit 50 by half-time? That would be great. Halfway through the game and halfway to 100 likes is Palace then building up the next attack on the right-hand side. Chance here for them to maybe put something into the box. Nathaniel Clyne gives it to Wharton. Wharton doesn't hesitate to put his ball into the box. It's another good ball from Wharton. And City got a lot of bodies there to do well and win the ball, and they can get it clear as well. Haaland does well. City are all over the place at the back. They're struggling with Palace getting the numbers forward and being ran at, and the attackers being physical as well. They're really struggling with it. Black Rose, thanks for tuning in. So we're into the first of 3 minutes then. Got 3 minutes just to try and navigate this. I'd still like to see City make some changes early second half. I still think we lack a bit of pace up top, in particular out wide. Lacking a bit of directness. That's not a good ball from Donnarumma. In the end, it was meant for Matheus Nunes, that. And Rayan Cherki had to drop deep to pick it up to ensure it didn't go out. I don't think Donnarumma meant that. Bunny hit 100 goals for City. Fantastic stuff. Are the women's side still winning? I hope so. As we're now just 1 like away from 50. Here's Haaland. Dummies it. Richards can get it clear. Cherki displays a pass back to Ruben Dias. 2 minutes then for City to try and navigate. Foden finds Josko Gvardiol. City now just trying to take a breather. Know that they're less than 100 seconds away from half time, and they'll consider it. You know, it's been a tough ask. We've not done we've not played particularly well. You know, as the Arsenal fans were saying yesterday, you don't have to play particularly well. It's about getting the results. And the Arsenal fans are right. It is about getting the results. Any which way to win. I don't know where Rodri is. Rest in peace. I don't know where he's gone. I have no idea what's going on. Pep keeps saying soon, but to be honest, I just don't think City want to take the risk. It's a joke, by the way. Rodri's not dead. He's just not been seen for a while. We don't know what's going on. He's injured, but he's training. You know, he was at the Madrid game. There was a picture of him walking past all the Real Madrid Champions League trophies because the Real Madrid media were losing the plot over it because they think they're going to sign Rodri from us. So, yeah, Mixed, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Do hope you're well. Tuning in just before half time to see what's going on. And I'll tell you what's going on. Palace have been the better side, not taking the chances, and City have done very little, apart from one good cross and one good header, and Haaland scored just before half-time, is all that's happened. And Haaland just does very well there to pick the pocket of Adam Wharton, and the instruction from Nico G is don't burst forward looking for the counter-attack, just slow this down. You've got 15 seconds to go to half-time, you don't want to give the ball away and allow Palace to do anything. As Tijjani Reijnders does well in the end and gets City a throw-in, and that should get us to half-time with the job done. As we do hit 50 likes just before half-time, so thank you for that. So, do leave a thumbs up. We're halfway to 100 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. And we're halfway through this game. Manchester City leading by 1-0 against Crystal Palace here at Selhurst Park. And boy, that's been a bit of a physical battle for Manchester City. As I said, Adam Wharton, Marc Guehi, Jean-Philippe Mateta, Ismaila Sarr, they're looking very good. I do think Crystal Palace are missing one big absentee in their squad, and it comes in the form of Munoz, their right wing-back. I think Crystal Palace would have that little bit more finesse, that little bit of quality in their team had Munoz been fully fit for today's game. I think he's been a big, big loss for Crystal Palace so far. I don't think Nathaniel Clyne's done a bad job. It's just, I think Munoz, in terms of playing that right wing-back job and that, the back five that we have, he does that very, very well. To be honest, if you're playing a back five, there's very few in terms of a right wing-back that do it better than what Munoz does, in particular when he wants to get forward. And Crystal Palace have found it all too easy to get forward and cause Manchester City problems. So City have got to address that. They've got to be a little tighter at the back. They've got to be up for them physical battles because, Wharton has done a very good job in that Crystal Palace midfield along with Kameda. They've made it a very physical battle. And at the minute, other than Nico G looking, he's been very little rest, so he's looking knackered. Other than that, City just struggling a little bit with the physicality. And it's like the Villa away game. It's like the Newcastle away game where we struggle with them physical battles. And Palace have created opportunities. They've had opportunities to score. It's a little bit like the Newcastle game. Newcastle had the opportunities in that first half. They never took them. The only problem was Man City never took their opportunities either. And we didn't take the lead in that game. And I think that's crucial as to why we ended up losing that game. We're in a good position here where we are 1-0 ahead. And as long as we continue with the careful game, add a little bit more finesse in attack and get more pacier options out wide, I'm confident that City can create a couple more opportunities. If we can put one of them away and score next, it becomes very difficult this for Crystal Palace. It becomes very difficult. So I think next goal, absolutely crucial. If we do get the next goal, you can't take it for granted. You go 2-0 up in a game. The last thing you want to do is concede right away and you have a big momentum turn in the match. So City have just got to work hard here to try and stick with. And I wouldn't rule out City wanting to be careful for another 20, 25 minutes. Get us to around the 65, 70 minute mark before you start to see them changes being made. And if we are still ahead by that time, that's when you're going to see Palace chucking on players to try and get them fresh legs to try and make things happen. So, Palace will be looking at the bench and the attacking options like Nketiah, who could make a difference. We've got options in midfield, the likes of Will Hughes. So, there's options there for Crystal Palace from the bench, and equally for Man City, whilst we've got them, Marmoush, Ait-Nouri before they go to the African Cup of Nations, they're options for City, Savinho, Khusanov, if they want to go with Khusanov out as a fullback for Man City and give a bit more pace if they're concerned about the counter-attack. Ake could be an option if Man City look like they might be struggling on the left-hand side, in particular with Nico O'Reilly looking tired against Real Madrid. I don't think there's been too much of a physical battle going on for Nico O'Reilly, certainly not as much as what was going on Wednesday night against Real Madrid. And, mark my words, by the time we get to like the 70th minute in this game, all the players will be feeling the wear and tear from that Madrid game, and with very little rotation, I think that's something that City need to keep an eye on. Player fatigue and players switching off because they are tired. Crystal Palace will also be tired. They were playing on Thursday night against Shelbourne in Ireland, but they've not had as far to travel as what City did. Palace did rotate against Shelbourne, so a couple of their crucial players are fit here to do 90 minutes. And also the physical battles and the quality battle that Palace were looking for. They cruised against Shelbourne. Playing against Shelbourne away isn't comparable to playing against Real Madrid away. So that could have a big impact in the second half. And I would strongly recommend that Pep Guardiola utilises his substitution bench, sooner rather than later. And I presume that the analysts will be having a look at this at half-time, and they'll be, drawing up their conclusions about, surely looking towards, we don't look like we're getting enough pace in attack to cause their fullbacks problem. We're not getting their defence to drop deeper. We're losing them physical battles in midfield. So you've got to look at your bench and say, well, if we're struggling with physicality, have we got anyone from the bench that can come on and help with that? And the answer, I look at City's bench, is probably not. We don't really have any other options. So if you've not got them options for physical battles, you're then going to be looking towards the technical side of things, and you're going to look towards the pace side of things. So as I said, in attack, you're going to be looking at Savinho, you're going to be looking at Oscar Bobb, you're going to be looking at Omar Marmoush. If you're going to be looking at players who are versatile, who can make things happen both defensively and drive forward into midfield, then options like Rayan Ait-Nouri and Rico Lewis help with that. And if you need an extra defensive options, you've got players like Nathan Ake who can help with that, and Khusanov as well, in particular on the right hand side of centre back, and on the right wing as well for Man City, at right back, in replacing Nunes if he needs to come off. You've got Makasa as an option for City on the bench. So City do have quality options to go at on the bench, and we need these squad players to start chipping in and doing their thing and helping out with the team. So we'll see what does happen Any changes you think City should be making second half, do get that in the chat. That'd be much appreciated. Barry, it'd be great to score straight away. It makes Man City's life much easier. And sometimes, you can overcomplicate things. Sometimes it's just about, getting your full-back in a good position to put a cross in, and you got a 6'4" striker. As long as you put a quality ball into the box and put it on his head, the clinical striker will do the job, and that's what happened with that first goal. Bernardo Silva. Pino just couldn't get out to Matheus Nunes. It's a cracking ball from Nunes. It's all about that quality from Nunes and a good cross and header from Haaland. A proper Barclays type of Premier League goal is what you'd call that for me. Proper Barclays goal. Quality stuff that from Manchester City, a good clinical finish. So just having a look then at the statistics for this game. Crystal Palace, struggling in terms of the possession, but expected goal rate much better. Crystal Palace's possession at just under 29%. Expected goal rate is 0.98. Man City's expected goal rate is 0.2 because we just haven't done much. We're having a lot of possession, 71% possession, but not doing much with it. Crystal Palace have had... City have had 2/3 of the ball. Yeah, Palace have had 7 shots. We've had 2. They've had 2 shots on target. We've had 2. We've shown our clinical touch. Crystal Palace haven't. They've missed a big opportunity. They hit the crossbar. I think he was offside in the build-up to that, so I don't think that goal had accounted. So I don't think that should count towards the statistics, but it does. Here we are. Man City's passing accuracy, it's slightly lower than I'd expect, normally around 90 to 92. It's at 88%. The pressing game from Palace looking good. The physicality side for Crystal Palace looking good. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that physical battle continue into the second half. And surprisingly, for such a physical game, not seeing any cards distributed as of yet. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what does happen ahead of the second half. Gift would like to see Savinho come on, so yeah, we'll see. So guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Just 46 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do get your thoughts in the chat, including who you would like to see come on at half time. Do let me know. Also, don't forget as well to subscribe if you're new around here. It is free, and social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, I've got some halftime entertainment for you guys to enjoy, so I'll see you ready for the second half. It's brought to you by my partner channel, Mixid. Links and details there in the description. Go and check him out. Another festive drink for you guys to look forward to. This time, it's the chocolate martini. Enjoy.
What's going on, guys? Mixid here, and this time we are getting it right into Christmas mode. So we're going to start off with the winter cocktails. Just over 5 weeks to go until the big day itself. So happy holidays or Merry Christmas, wherever you are from. And one of the cocktails I recommend in the run-up to Christmas is the chocolate martini. Can't go wrong. Gives you an excuse to crack open the Baileys. Anything more Christmassy than Baileys. So as you can see, we've got a martini glass and we've rimmed it with a chocolate syrup. So to make this delicious cocktail, guys, it's 3 ingredients. So Baileys, vodka and chocolate liqueur. Because I'm using the creme de cacao. So it gives me an excuse. I've had it a few months, but I've not opened it, so this is the first time. And let's get straight into it. It's a very simple cocktail to make. So what you want to do, guys, is put in 4 to 5 ice cubes or a giant ice cube. I've gone for a giant ice cube. Get your jigger, and the first ingredient into the tin, my friends, is 40ml, which is 3.3 ounce of the Baileys Irish Cream. Next into the shaker is 40ml or 3 ounces of vodka. I'm using Ciroc. So it's a decent vodka if you've never had it. So it's a berry vodka as well. And now this is where your chocolate liqueur comes right into it. So I'm using Gifford creme de cacao. But this can be really creative because there's some really nice chocolate liqueurs out there. So there we are, 40ml, 3.3 ounces of creme de cacao. So put your lid on, make sure it's nice and secure, and now give it a good shake, 8 to 10 seconds to get nice and chilled. So what you want to do now is get your martini glass that you've already rimmed with chocolate syrup. getting straight into it. What we're going to do now is garnish it with chocolate shavings. Could have a bit much. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, one chocolate martini. Doesn't it look delicious? I cannot wait to try this. The perfect winter cocktail, especially in the run up to Christmas as well. Absolutely beautiful. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, one chocolate martini. How does it taste? If you're a Bailey's lover, you'll love this, because it's everything that you could ever dream of, especially with the creme de cacao. Gives it that nice chocolate flavour mixed in with the Irish cream. But I think in terms of sweetness, it's a very sweet drink. Because the vodka is certainly complemented. It gives it that boost, gives it that little bit of a kick that you can feel. But for me, that is a perfect winter cocktail, and with the vodka, it warms it up as well. You can feel it in your throat as it goes down. But that is very, very nice, especially with a nice vodka like Ciroc as well. But I'd rate that a solid 8.5 out of 10. It gets the party started, it gets winter cocktails flowing, and it warms the cockles up. What's not to love about it? It's chocolate, it's Christmas. It's absolutely great. Not perfect, but great. But that, guys, is the chocolate martini. Do let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the chocolate martini? Because any recommendation for winter cocktails, do let me know in the comments below. Or any Christmas ones as well in the run up to Christmas now. So it's only 5 weeks. It's only just over 5 weeks until the big day itself. So the next winter cocktail I'll be doing will be the Jack Frost, as that will be next week's cocktail, and I will see you then. But if you are new around here, don't forget to like and subscribe and mix it for more winter cocktails like this, more Christmas cocktails, and I will see you guys for the Jack Frost cocktail. Cheers. Don't do that. Oh, I feel that. It's because I had a bit of bruise in the morning.
Oh man, right guys, I am late back to the stream. I do apologise for that. I do apologise for that. Right. Oh, right, ready for the second half. Also, a big thank you to Mixid for providing today's halftime entertainment. Do go and check him out. Links and details, they are in the description. See if City make any changes. I'm a bit confused as to why Brentford Leeds is the Sunday prime time slot. I don't get it. Tyne-Wear derby. Palace against City. You had Liverpool against Brighton yesterday. Yeah. Forest Spurs. Heck, even West Ham Aston Villa. No, let's do Brentford Leeds. The honks of a Saturday 3 p.m. I don't know how. I really don't know how that's ended up being a prime time game on a Sunday. I don't know how that's happened. Anyway, players are back out for the second half. We are ready to get going as well. Man City are going to be getting us underway, attacking from right to left, with Crystal Palace attacking from left to right. A big second half. This City lead by a goal to nil, and they could really do with winning this game, considering we're 5 points behind Arsenal at the top of the Premier League. As Bernardo Silva gets us underway with a pass back to Donnarumma. He's going to send this one long for Manchester City. It doesn't look like either side have made any changes here at half time, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any change of approach from Man City. Phil Foden's currently out on the left. And that'll be a corner, a cheap corner given away there by Crystal Palace. Amadou, thanks for tuning in. Gift, Rodri and Doku both injured. Rodri's still not over his knee injury, and Doku picked up a leg injury. City have got an early set piece. It's a good time after just a minute here in the second half to find a goal. Corner here for Manchester City then. Can they utilise this set piece? Rayan Cherki is going to take. He's going to put the ball in. Header won by Crystal Palace. Only get it as far as Phil Foden here on the right. He hooks another ball in. Header won by Richards. Wharton can't win the loose second ball. Reijnders will take the touch. He gets dispossessed though well by Pino, and here comes Mitchell forward for Crystal Palace. Plays a nice pivoted ball in for Adam Wharton. He's going to find Clyne here up against Nico O'Reilly. Chance here for Kamada to maybe put a ball into the box. He opts against it. Instead, Palace are just going to work this out. Back to the right-hand side from the back. Here's Richards. Has the option of Clyne out on the right wing. Doesn't use that option. Finds Wharton instead. It's a good pass from Wharton. Here's Mitchell to Guehi. Back to Wharton. Looks for a pivoted pass. A good interception from Bernardo Silva, but an equally as good interception back from Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton currently just dictating things in that defensive midfield role. Almost doing like what you used to see from Rodri with Man City. Doing really well in them tightest of spaces to try and help create and dictate that pace in midfield and win them battles and duels. Doing very well. Dave's just put Sunderland. Does that mean Sunderland have done something? A Sunderland 1-0 up against Newcastle? That'd be a massive goal. Don't really understand why that's not the prime time game on a Sunday. Return of the Time Wear derby. That's a good pivoted ball in, and Ruben Dias does ever so well just to get a foot onto that. Nico O'Reilly should get this one fully clear for City. He finds Phil Foden on the left, and good distribution that from City. Nico G needs to be careful not to get dispossessed. He is going to get dispossessed, and a shot's going to come in and hits the post. Adam Wharton. He's looked very good today, Adam Wharton. He has a shot. He drags it ever so slightly. I think Sunderland have gone 1-0 up against Newcastle. Nico G just dispossessed there by Wharton. It luckily falls for Wharton. He drags his shot. Does it hit the outside of the post, I think? And goes wide. Yeah, I think it just clips the outside of the post and goes wide. So that's twice now that Crystal Palace have hit the woodwork. Hitting the crossbar in the first half through Pino, and Wharton just hit the outside of the post there for Crystal Palace. So a little warning sign for City. As we're now on 59 likes, guys. Just 41 likes to go to 100. Any help towards that would be great. And do subscribe. Here's Phil Foden then. Turning defence into attack for Manchester City. To O'Reilly. Let's have a look at this Sunderland goal then. So it's Sunderland popping a ball in. It's an own goal. Votamida, I think it is, that scored the own goal. Voltamardi, sorry. Scoring the own goal for Newcastle, and Sunderland. Huge goal in the Time Wear derby. Sunderland leading by a goal to 0. A long ball played forward by City. It's not the best of balls. There's been another goal in the Forest Spurs game. Forest were 1-0 up. I think Forest have gone 2-0 up now. Cross comes in. It's gone in off the cross. It's missed everyone and gone in. Keeper doesn't deal with it. It's Hudson-Odoi again with a brace for Nottingham Forest. They're 2-0 up against Tottenham now. So, goal kick for Crystal Palace into the 50th minute here. City lead by a goal to 0. Don't forget, leave a thumbs up. 41 likes to go to 100, and do subscribe. Long ball gets sent forward. Header won by City. Wharton wins the loose second ball. He's winning all them battles, and that's a good pivoted ball played forward here. Here's Sarr. He turns, and O'Reilly manages to get back and get that one clear. That was excellent defending that from City. I think it were a combination of O'Reilly and Josko Gvardiol. A good hooked ball in, I think from, was it Kamada? Sarr just turns and turns into trouble. Josko Gvardiol just showing Ismaila Sarr onto his right foot. He opts not to go with that, trying to get it onto his left foot, and O'Reilly sticks with him. Well read that from City. Really well read. That was a big opportunity for Palace. And their hesitation to shoot there from Sarr on his right foot, trying to get it onto his left foot, ensures that City could get that one clear. Throwing them for Palace. Long throw sent in by Richards. Header won by O'Reilly. Not the best of throws in from Richards, and not the best of balls in either. And City should be able to come away with it here. Foden runs into traffic though. It's that man again, Adam Wharton, making his presence known. He's looked very impressive today, Adam Wharton. Probably looking at it and going, you know what, City's midfield needs a bit of physicality in it. I'll show them what's what. As Palace nearly created something there. Here's City then coming forward. A goal in the West Ham Villa game. I think Villa have found another equaliser. Gone behind twice. Yeah, it's a good finish. Who's that with a finish? What's Morgan Rogers? That's why Dave's showed Morgan Rogers too cheaply. Went to Middlesbrough, didn't he? From City, and obviously he says Middlesbrough sold him too cheap to Villa. Good player, Morgan Rogers. He's doing very well, which I'm pleased to hear. That's a great turn here, and Tijjani Reijnders goes down. Referee says, coming together, no penalty. To be fair, Tijjani Reijnders never appealed for it. Again, he's just struggled with the physicality there, Tijjani Reijnders. He was onside. He just couldn't hold Richards off there, Tijjani Reijnders. Let's have a look at it. Excellent defending from Richards. Richards just pokes his foot in front of Tijjani Reijnders. I just think Tijjani Reijnders needed to be a bit stronger there. And a bit smarter. He protects the ball there. Richards would have gone through the back of him, and the referee would have had a decision to make, because he looked like he were onside. Ball gets clipped forward. Clyne keeps it in. Gets his ball across. Foden there to get it clear for City. Again, just Crystal Palace are getting players forward, and I think City are just waiting to try and pick the pockets of Palace to pick up the loose balls, but it just doesn't suit Man City playing this way, and there's the press from Palace to win it back again. How City are playing just doesn't suit how City want to play. I don't know. I don't like it. We look off the pace. I think City are 1-0 up because Palace have been wasteful. More so than City being good. It was a poor ball forward, that from Palace. Poor ball forward. Right, goal kick then. I think Nico G's going to take this one and send it long rather than Donnarumma. And he takes it because he finds Nico O'Reilly's head. There's another good ball forward here. Reijnders can't find Haaland. Well covered from Marc Guehi. I wonder how long it's going to be before City turn to their substitute bench. I wonder how long it might be before Palace do the same is the question. Here's Bernardo Silva. Finds Matheus Nunes. Back to Bernardo Silva. Here's Ruben Dias. To Bernardo. Bit of a physical again. City are a bit lucky there to get the free kick. I think referee saying I played the advantage, so it's going to come back. They were losing that midfield battle again. They're struggling so much with the physicality of Crystal Palace. I think Adrian, ultimately, that's what it's coming down to when it comes to a bit of ball control. They're struggling to control the tempo of the game. I think for that same reason, Pep Guardiola and Oliver Glasner are having a conversation. I don't really know what they're having a conversation about. Looks like they're arguing with each other. Isn't this bizarre? Why have we got the two managers having a conversation mid-game? How bizarre. Anyway. Free kick for City, header won, and not enough pace generated on the header, and Henderson can pick that one up. Continuing their conversation there, now the fourth official's got up to have a conversation with Pep to say, go back to your own technical area. I don't know what they're having a conversation about. I've not got the sound of the television on, so I don't know if commentators are clarifying it a bit, but clearly Pep's got... he's unhappy about something, to have a word with Glasner about it. Long ball sent forward from Palace then. A bit of too easy for Palace to send that ball forward and Kamada to win that ball, and Palace can turn defence into attack through 2 touches. Frustrating. Ball comes into the City box. It's not a very good ball. And I think, where Palace have struggled today, for a bit of quality in the final third. Better quality in the final third from Palace, and I think they'd be winning this game. They'd probably be leading quite comfortably if they had that quality in the final third. City have, not done too much, and here they are coming forward again. It's a big chance here. Tijjani Reijnders on his own has a shot and a good save from Henderson. Could have squared it across for Haaland there. I don't blame Tijjani Reijnders for going in for it himself. He had a good angle on the keeper there. A similar angle to what Rodrigo scored from for Real Madrid midweek. Just goes across the keeper reads it well and he gets down well. And that's what Donnarumma should have done with Rodrigo's effort when I said he'd be disappointed he didn't save it, because there's only really one way that the player can go, and that's back across the keeper. That's what Tijjani Reijnders does there. Maybe it's not as pinpoint as what Rodrigo's was, but keeper does enough to get down and make the save. It looked like it was a shot on target from Tijjani Reijnders. It looks like if keeper doesn't make the save, that goes in. So... yeah, that's what I wanted Donnarumma to do against Rodrigo's effort. He's got one place to go. He's going to go across the keeper. You anticipate it and you get down low. Dean Henderson does it on Tijjani Reijnders. I'd expect a goalkeeper as good as Donnarumma to have done it with Rodrigo in the Champions League midweek. He didn't. That was a good comparison, that. Very, very similar situations. Anyway, here's Bernardo Silva. Drives forward, can't find his pass to Cherki. Cherki overstretches there. Got to be careful with your hamstring when you're overstretching like that. Not the best of passes from Bernardo Silva. And Palace can, again, get the ball into the City penalty area, but a bit too easy for Ruben Dias to deal with as Spurs women beating Man United's women's side. So Man United at the end of the day, it's things we like to hear. Here's Cherki then. Just plays a nice ball into Phil Foden. Phil Foden can't get his pass to Tijjani Reijnders, and Reijnders looks a bit disappointed. City here, continuing to build in attack. Palace allowing City more and more space. They're not sitting as tight, so Palace wants to try and get forward. And I wonder, it's around about now that you're going to start to see a bit of fatigue hitting in for both sides. Palace had the day's extra less rest. Obviously had to travel to Ireland. That's a poor pass from Diaz. Poor pass. And here's Wharton then. One pass forward to Pino. Nunes needs to stick with him. Wharton doesn't get it. Again, just struggling in the final third. Wharton can't sort his shot out there. And it goes over the top of the crossbar and into the stands. Another promising position from a City error for Crystal Palace. And they can't find a way to capitalise on it. Pino does very well there. He's caused a lot of problems for City today. Good defending from Nico G just to cover the angle on Adam Wharton. He'd have struggled to have scored from there. We'll get a replay here of the Tijjani Reijnders effort. It goes across the keeper. It's not as accurate as what Rodrigo's was the other day for the keeper to get to it. It was a shot on target. A bit of a tame effort. I'll give Donnarumma benefit of the doubt that Rodrigo's effort on Wednesday was a better effort than that from Reijnders, as Palace are going to have a shot here and it's blocked well by Ruben Dias. And this game now just opening up. Advantage played here for Palace. Here's Mateta. And that's just going to fizzle out into nothing. And Man City will snuff out the Crystal Palace advantage. Glasner not happy with it, but Palace got the advantage, and Palace, again, just another poor effort in the final third. So we're into the 60th minute on the hour mark. City lead by a goal to 0 here at Selhurst Park, away at Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Aim for 100 likes, 40 to go. And don't forget to subscribe as well. City again just struggling to get out. City haven't got control of this. I mean, to be fair, Todd, I feel like Nico G, he's played a heck of a lot of minutes. There can't be many players over the last 2 months that have played more minutes more minutes than what Nico G has. Not having Rodri as an alternative, you've not got any other alternative for him. So, man must be absolutely shattered. I think he's had a very, very good first half of the season for City. I don't think Nico G's been the City problem in midfield for me. Chuck asking the big questions. Who do I think is going to be subbed in and out? I can see Savinho coming in. I suspect it'll probably be Tijjani Reijnders that comes out. And that'll allow City to push Foden or Bernardo further forward. Is what I reckon. I'd like to see Marmoush. I just don't think... I feel like if we were going to utilise Marmoush, once Doku was injured, we'd have gone with Marmoush, but we know we're not going to have Marmoush after this game for a month and a half, so I think City are fully aware of that and they want to utilise other players to get them sharp. Why do you want to try and get Marmoush sharp when we don't need to? That's a poor ball. The City have done well to actually get possession. That's lovely from Cherki. Good sliding challenge. Cherki should pick that one up and it's coming together there. I mean, City are going to get a free kick. First yellow card as well. I said it's been a physical battle, so I won't be surprised to start seeing some yellow cards here. And Kamada, the first of them. There's a sliding challenge that came in on Matheus Nunes there from Guehi. I'm not entirely sure if Guehi gets there first, but Kamada just takes Cherki out there. Yellow card and a free kick for Man City, and it just eats a couple more minutes away at the clock. It should allow Crystal Palace to make their change, the first change that's going to happen in the game. First yellow card for Kamada this season. So Nketiah, no surprise to see a change in attack. It's a surprise to see Mateta because he's caused all kinds of problems for Man City today. The physicalness of Mateta, he comes off. So I wonder if Mateta is only fit to do an hour because he has been out. Missed the last game. He had been injured, so fit enough to do an hour. He comes out and they obviously got extra pace and extra legs of Nketiah. I was looking for a bit more clinicalness in that final third. Former Arsenal man, I'm sure, will want to try and do very well here for Palace to help his former team. Here's Guehi up against Matheus Nunes. Got to try and get this one clear for Palace. I see what he's trying to do, and he's done ever so well there, Marc Guehi. City do win that loose second ball. Haaland's going to get dispossessed. Palace whack that one clear, and that will be a throw-in for Manchester City. City still leading here then by 1-0. 27 minutes remaining of this match. I think we could, we've spent a good amount of time here trying to suss Crystal Palace out. I feel like we know what to expect from Palace here on out. I think in the next 5 minutes is a good chance for City to start getting maybe a couple of fresh bodies on there. Savinho, I think, could probably be one of them. I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see some extra legs in midfield. So not too many midfield options for City today. Rico Lewis could be one of them workhorses that could come in for City. Don't think that helps with a physical battle having Rico Lewis there, one of the least most physical players, although he has been bulking up since last season. I don't think Nico G did too much wrong there for me. I think, Kamada just picked up the yellow card, said he's on landing's done his hamstring. He says he wants to come off. So Palace are going to have to make their second change. It's going to be Will Hughes getting stripped, ready to come on then. That's going to come on for this. If player signals he wants to come off, he's going to have to come off. Dave says 67 minutes in it's taken for Newcastle to have their first shot of the game. Bad. Real bad. City just taking an opportunity to have a bit of a breather. So second Palace change, fresh legs for them coming on. I wonder how long it's going to take for us to see fresh legs from City and who them fresh legs are going to be. Another replay of that City goal that they scored first half. Cracking ball in from Matheus Nunes. Cracking ball in. Good header from Erling Haaland. He's not done too much in this game, Erling Haaland, other than, be on the receiving end of one chance, one goal. And that's what Erling Haaland does, really. So Will Hughes is going to come on. Both sides have taken their opportunity here just to have some words with the coaches. Get a bit of a team talk. normally I'd accuse a tactical player goes down and have a word with the coaching staff because something's not going their way. That's what Man City got accused of against Leeds, remember, for being unhappy about it. But this isn't the case. This is hamstrings done, and that could be Kamada out for a few weeks, to be honest. So a speedy recovery to him. Blow that for Crystal Palace. So Will Hughes is going to come on in his absence, and second change for Palace. I saw on Instagram that Crystal Palace had made a change to the person that's on the microphone that announces the substitutions and goals and the build up to the game and after the game. Don't know why. Didn't explain why. It's upset a lot of fans apparently at Crystal Palace. There's team news in for the Brentford Leeds game, that big Brentford Leeds game. Right, free kick then for Palace. And Kamada's going to go down and get some treatment down the tunnel. Don't really get why he has to go off halfway. Why he couldn't just go off at the nearest point and just walk him straight to the tunnel. Why he's had to walk with a hamstring injury to where the centre circle is, and then down the touchline when he went down near the Crystal Palace penalty area. So he's basically had to do like a big boop, boop. Like, why don't you just go straight down and allow the player to go off? I don't understand. I do not understand that one. Player's carrying a hamstring injury. He's in a lot of pain. So you want him to get treatment ASAP and make that walk as short as possible? Or is that just another crazy rulings in the Premier League? I just find baffling. Here's City then looking to try and get forward. I think free kick's going to be given against Josko Gvardiol there for a high foot on Richards. I don't actually think he catches Richards. Richards just sees he has a high foot and goes down to make the point. Let's have a look. I don't think he touches him. Naughty from Josko Gvardiol though, because if he does touch him, that's a potential red card. A very dangerous challenge. Going in, high foot, studs up. Thankfully, he doesn't touch Richards. That's a beautiful, beautiful interception there from City. Here's Rayan Cherki driving forward. And to Foden in a bit of space, and the shot! That's a beautiful, beautiful finish from Phil Foden into the back of the net, and the crucial second goal for Manchester City. Beautiful finish from Phil Foden. Absolutely beautiful finish. And Manchester City have done very little in this game. Palace have been wasteful, and Manchester City have just, two good opportunities. 2 good goals, done. 2-0 Manchester City lead. Brilliant finish from Foden. Brilliant finish. Sublime is the word we want. Absolutely sublime from Foden. And he's having a much, much better season this season, Foden is. Nice and low. Keeper's going to struggle to get down with the pace. Referee plays a very good advantage there. Rayan Cherki does well not to touch the ball. He's just going to allow Foden to have the shot. It's just good attacking play from City. Real good attacking play. And there's a little bit of finesse. And, we've got 20 minutes here to try and navigate. Phil Foden, 6 goals in 4 Premier League appearances. He's having a heck of a season. Thomas Tuchel watching on. We made a note. I'm sure Marc Guehi's had a good performance for Palace. Adam Wharton's had a good performance for Palace. But, you're looking at it from the City point of view, the English players with the England manager there. Phil Foden. It's beautiful from Phil Foden. Beautiful from Phil Foden. And there's a chance here for a third. If City can get this ball right, it's not too bad of a ball. Tijjani Reijnders is going to be forced to go behind. Nico O'Reilly's looked good. He's surely in contention as well to go to the World Cup with England. John Stone's not fit. I'm sure if fit in time for the World Cup, we'll be heading to the World Cup. Foden is having a fantastic comeback year, Andy. Thanks for tuning in. How's the weather in Chicago? It's very cold. I see they've had a lot of snow. Into the final 20 minutes then, guys. We're looking for 100 likes. 36 to go. We've got about 30 minutes left of the game. A like per minute could get us very close. So let's get them likes up, guys. City are winning 2-0 at the moment. We're on course for 5 wins in a row. And the kind of form in December that you need if you want to be winning Premier Leagues. Chuck says, snowing in New York. What's the temperature looking like there, Chuck? I said it's gone very cold up in North America. Miami Dolphins are playing in Pittsburgh, and but the weather there's not nice either. Very cold. 0 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment in Chicago. What's that in Celsius? 0 F2C. Minus 18. Whoo! Wow. Minus 18 degrees Celsius. Jeez. That is cold. We don't really get minus 18 degrees in... minus 18 degrees Celsius or 0 degrees in Fahrenheit in England. You'll get it every now and then. Every now and then. Chuck says minus 2 degrees Celsius in New York. That's kind of similar to what we get on cold days. We will touch minuses. Tends to be like overnight temperatures you'll get to on the colder days through January and February, where it touches anywhere between probably 0 degrees Celsius, so freezing, to minus 4, minus 5. Bears, Browns. Big games out Soldier Field as well. Oh, I bet that's a cold one blowing in off Lake Michigan, minus 18 degrees Celsius. Look at Dan Vander showing off 24 degrees Celsius in Chennai. What's that, like 76, 75, 76 degrees Fahrenheit? He's showing off. The ball in from Palace dealt with well. Again, just struggling in the quality in the final third. Palace really struggling for that quality. Dave cheering on the... I want Chicago Bears to do really well. I've fully enjoyed my experience there back in September and met some real good people. And I had a lot of love for the video that I put out on my channel from Chicago for the Chicago Bears. And you know, I'd like for them to have a real good season. I really would. You know, that wind chill, it probably feels like minus 30. That wind chill coming in off Lake Michigan, you know, minus 18, you know, thick snow. You know, if that's football over here, that's getting cancelled. They won't take place in such conditions. They'll regard it as dangerous, but NFL, they'll continue. Dave says, born in Cleveland. I didn't know that. Is that Cleveland? That's great pressing from Nico O'Reilly. Real good pressing. I wonder if it's Cleveland up in North Yorkshire near Middlesbrough, or if it's Cleveland, USA. Going for the fact you support Middlesbrough, Dave, I'm going to presume it's, there you go, the one in Teesside. But it shares the same name. I wonder if Cleveland in Ohio's named after Cleveland in the UK. Let's have a look. Is Cleveland... Ohio, named after... Might be named after Grover Cleveland. Let's have a look. We'll like some knowledge here whilst there's not much going on in this game. It's named after General Moses Cleveland, the surveyor and leader for the Connecticut Land Company, 1796. There you go. Learn something new. I've seen Adrian. I've seen it. They've been putting a little box on Sky Sports. They've been putting up the goals. I've seen the own goal. It's a cracker of an own goal, and it is the Tyne-Wear derby right now. 1-0 Sunderland lead in that game. Into the final 15 minutes here. I think City will just want to navigate these final 15 minutes. What we don't want to do is just hand Crystal Palace a goal and make this, you know, a very tense 15 minutes. Just see it out and get the job done. A third goal will kill this game. I mean, City just got to match the intensity for another 15 is what I'd be looking for. Right, we're 23 likes, guys, away from 100. Let's get them likes up. 23 to go. Let's see. 33 to go. Let's see if we can get 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. 33 likes to go. City are winning 2-0 here away against Crystal Palace. Could be a real important, real big away victory, this one. So it'd be great if we could have a 100-like live stream once more. Oh, that's a slack pass from Guehi looking for Wharton, and Man City pick the ball up. As Cherki initiates the contact from behind there from Mitchell. And he'll go down and he'll get a simple free kick. That's a great question, Andy, man. The biggest derby with, at least with rival fans, is that are you just on about what I think the biggest derby is in terms of like what world sport, or are we on about just football in the UK? And if we talk about football in the UK, you're not going to get much bigger than I just missed that substitution then. I don't know who's gone off. You're not going to get much bigger than the Old Firm, Celtic and Rangers. That's a huge derby. I know they have like 4 a season, sometimes more. But that's a very fierce derby. More to it than just I don't like you or you're from the same city as us. It's deep-rooted, religious and everything. Yeah, very, very big rivalry. Premier League one. Anyway, I'll answer that in a second. That's a terrible free kick from Rayan Cherki. There's a one-man wall and he hits the one-man wall. Biggest in the Premier League. And we're going in terms of hatred for each other. That Tyne-Wear derby's probably right up there, you know. Forest have gone 3-0 up. And it's Sangare with the goal. Just waiting for confirmation on that Palace sub. I missed it. I can't find the lineups. I'm sure someone will confirm it. I don't know who went on and off for Palace. I missed it, I'm afraid. Spurs just aren't very good. Spurs aren't very good unless they're playing against us at the Etihad. Then Spurs are exceptional. Every other game, just not very good. We're now 32 likes away from 100. Well, the final 12 minutes here. City have got this clear. Palace pushing forward. They're at the point of no return. They're 2-0 down. Got to try and make something happen. And Palace have had a very good season so far as well. So this would be an excellent 3 points if City can get this job done. And boy, it'd be nice to keep consecutive Premier League clean sheets. As City come forward here through Nico O'Reilly. There's a 4-on-5. 5 for Palace, 4 for City. Getting forward, Nico O'Reilly finds Tijjani Reijnders. He does well, really well, just to get a touch on that ball. Palace do well to get the hold of the ball. And Josko Gvardiol should get that one clear, and does. Yeah, I didn't see who went off for Palace. See if I can find confirmation somewhere about the change. Yeah, so Uchi's come on for Clyne is the sub. There we go. Here's Dean Henderson sending it long for Palace. Header won there by Nico G. That'll roll out a play for a throw-in for Crystal Palace. 11 minutes for City to navigate them. 22 likes to go. Is Aston Villa ahead now? Aston Villa leading against West Ham? Yeah. Hoping West Ham would take some points. 3-2 then. Villa lead into the final 10 minutes of this game. So don't forget, guys, leave a thumbs up. 32 likes to go to 100 likes. Do subscribe as well. That'd be much appreciated. City next up in the League Cup. We'll be taking on Brentford. I think it's Wednesday night. 17th it's on, so 3 days' time. On Wednesday. Brentford at home. Well, we're doing another live watch-along, by the way, so that'll be the next live stream. So good ball in from Palace, and this falls to Sarr, and a good block from City, and Hughes has a shot and another good block, and City's backed up against the wall. Another ball gets played in. Here's Sarr up against Nico O'Reilly. Sarr gets his shot away and that will go out for a corner. Good defending there from City. Last thing you want to do is, it's last 9 minutes. You don't want to just give Crystal Palace anything. Just see the game out. And now, what do you reckon Morgan Rogers is worth now? You're probably looking at like 60 plus million. We had a chance to buy him back, I believe. And we never did. That's Morgan Rogers, that is. So corner here for Crystal Palace. Some defending for City to do. Bit of pushing and shoving going on. City player goes down. Header won by City, though. Can get it to just outside their own penalty area before an opportunity here for Mitchell to put something back in. Haaland can't get his foot properly on that. And it'll just be sliced out for a throw-in. So a chance here for Crystal Palace to launch a long throw into the box. Richards comes over to take. He'll take his opportunity to pick up the dry ball rather than the greased up wet ball, and he's going to look to just lob this into the box. 8 minutes here to go at Selhurst Park. Palace need a goal to get back in this. Big loss for them today. Munoz, missing him. Ball gets launched by Richards to the near post. O'Reilly wins the header again. It's back to Sarr, back to Richards. O'Reilly just picks the pocket of Richards there. And that's beautiful, beautiful defending from O'Reilly. He's desperately, desperately unlucky there. Richards puts the ball into the box. Again, Crystal Palace are lacking in that final third. Their boxes into the box have been really poor today. Man City haven't been that good today. They haven't been that good. Crystal Palace probably had the better opportunities. It's just when the opportunities have come about in the final third, Man City haven't needed to do much other than put quality balls in and score when they've needed to, and the opportunities have been there to score. Other than that, Palace have got into some great areas, had some good opportunities, and just they've not been clinical. That's what the game's come down to ultimately. We've not been at our best, and we've not needed to be at our best, and yet, we're on the verge of keeping a clean sheet and winning the game 2-0. Savinho then is going to be coming on for Man City. Another little cameo appearance for him. He looked quite impressive in that game against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu midweek when he came on with his little cameo. So we'll see what Savinho can do here. See if he can showcase his quality. As here is Nketiah has a shot, stings the hands of Donnarumma and out for a corner. Guards that near post well. Gets a good strong hand onto it and just forces it wide. Nketiah with a nice direct run there. Tests the goalkeeper. A comfortable enough save there for Donnarumma in the end. Corner then for Palace. More defending for City to do. City getting everyone back. Second goal, Walker came from Foden. Corner comes in. Fisted clear by Donnarumma and is fisting of getting his hand onto it. Finding Rayan Cherki means City can burst forward here. Mitchell protects the ball well, takes the contact from Cherki, and he'll go down, and that will allow Man City now the opportunity to make their substitution. It's going to be Tijjani Reijnders then that comes off, so City wants a little bit more pace out wide, taking off another midfielder. I presume they want to drop Foden and Bernardo deeper, and they just want players to be able to spring it out to. So Tijjani Reijnders' game is done. I wonder if Man City maybe want to give a couple of minutes towards the likes of Ake, just to try and get them nice and sharp ahead of Brentford midweek, and obviously games to come where we're going to be missing Marmoush and Rayan Ait-Nouri. So players like Savinho and players like Nathan Ake are going to be very important until we get Marmoush and Ait-Nouri back with us from the African Cup of Nations. So both Ait-Nouri and Omar Marmoush will not be available for City after this game until probably the end of January. Good defending there, good covering there from Ruben Dias. He wants the fans to make some noise, cheer the team on. 5 minutes to go. I don't know if Rodri will play again. I don't know what's going on. Injured still. Right, we're 32 likes, guys, away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe. Here's Richards then with the throw-in for Crystal Palace. Chance for him to just launch one into the box. More defending for O'Reilly, for Gvardiol, for Erling Haaland to do here. There's a bit of pulling going on. Gvardiol went down. Mitchell's going to hook another ball in. Header won by City. Falls to Guehi. Gets a clean enough shot away. He's a little stab at it. But City have bodies back so they can get that one hooked clear. And that'll go out for a throw in this time on the Crystal Palace left-hand side. And another opportunity probably for another long throw to be launched into the penalty area. Richards comes over to take. So City will be looking to try and mark up on the near post. Richards then to launch this one in. Damn, man, the throw-ins do take a while, and the ball's classed has been out of play, so the time will get added on, so I won't be surprised to see 5 or 6 minutes added on here. Ball gets launched in then. Again, just doesn't beat the near post. Ruben Dias puts his head onto it. Here's Richards. Plays a pass into Will Hughes, who does well to keep that in, does well to get a ball across, and Guehi does well to get his head onto it, and Donnarumma does well just to come out and fist that one clear under pressure. Hughes again. Opportunity, turns, does well, cross comes in, header won by City to get it clear, backs against the wall, here's Savinho, here's Savinho, here's Savinho, here's Savinho, come on Sav, come on Sav, come on Sav, rounds the keeper, he goes down, penalty ref, Savinho. Exceptional from Savinho there, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely fantastic from the Brazilian. Henderson goes into the book. It's a penalty for Manchester City, turning defence into attack. And it's all about the fresh legs that Andy says. Taking the words out of my mouth. The fresh legs, he just bursts forward. He knows he's got the defender. He takes his time to take it round the keeper. It's a penalty every day of the week. The only thing I'm wondering about is I think it's because they've got an extra defender back covering Dean Henderson there, that he's not shown a red card. He deliberately trips Savinho up to stop him scoring. It's not classed as a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity because there's another player back. Now, Dean Henderson did save Omar Marmoush's penalty in the Champions League final. In the FA Cup final, Erling Haaland should have taken it that day. He didn't. Now, remember, guys, I'm about 30 seconds behind real time. Please don't spoil this for me. I want to be able to give my natural reaction to this. Haaland's penalty leaves a little bit to be desired, but still not a bad record. 17 from 20 scored in the Premier League. So Haaland can seal the deal here. Up against Dean Henderson. And give an important 3 points for Manchester City as well. And it could be a brace. City have been very clinical today. Can Haaland add to that? Of course, Erling Haaland can add to that. He is absolutely inevitable. This is a huge 3 points for Manchester City. An absolute huge 3 points. 3 points, 3 goals. It just sends the keeper the wrong way. He just sends the keeper the wrong way. It's a brilliant penalty from Haaland, and that all belongs to Savinho. He has his critics. He came on and he made things happen. Recognises an opportunity for him to pick the ball up from deep and just drive straight through the heart of the defence of Crystal Palace. Wins the penalty. Haaland tucks the penalty away. City make it 3-0. Game over. We're back to within 2 points of Arsenal. 5 wins in a row. 4 consecutive Premier League wins. Boom. Absolutely fantastic. And that's what should have happened in the FA Cup final. City then, going to chuck some fresh legs on. Ait-Nouri, Marmoush, they are going to come on and do a couple of minutes. I mean, I don't really get what the point is of them doing a couple of minutes here. They pick up an injury, and if I'm Algeria or if I'm Egypt, I'm furious if they pick up an injury here. They don't need to come on. I'm surprised City haven't taken their opportunity to throw the likes of Macarthur on. So O'Reilly's going to be the first to come off, and we're going to see Rayan Ait-Nouri come on. A little farewell for him before he heads to the African Cup of Nations. So good luck to Algeria and to Rayan Ait-Nouri. And good luck to Omar Marmoush in Egypt as well as he comes on for Erling Haaland. And we're also going to see Rico Lewis come on for Man City as well. Tito could be the way to go. Savinho needs to take a lot of confidence away from what he's doing right. He did everything right there in that little cameo. These little cameos help. Final substitution is going to be Bernardo Silva. He's going to come off having a good smile there with Rayan Cherki. Rayan Cherki seems to have settled himself in very nicely at City as well. And Bernardo comes off and Rico Lewis comes on. City get that pressure. Got to keep going for it. Got to keep going for it. Gnarly, I don't know how you pronounce your name, I'm afraid. I hope I said that correctly. It says, as a Palace fan, I stopped watching after the second goal. But up to that point, we were undeniably the better side. I'm not going to sit here and say that Palace weren't the better side. Palace have created the opportunities. The expected goal rate at half-time was 0.98 for them and 0.2 for Man City. So, yeah. I'm not going to deny that Palace were the better side. Palace lacked a lot of quality in the final third. And I think that's been the big difference here today. City's quality in the final third has shown, whereas Palace, the balls into the box, the bad misses, the straight at the keeper, hitting the crossbar, hitting the post. Palace are clinical. Palace take points today. Palace probably win the game if they are clinical because they'd probably have been 2-3-0 up. They didn't take their opportunities, and because they haven't and City have made the scoreline look flattering and made the game look easy. This was anything but. This has not been an easy game. It's been a very difficult, hard-fought 3-0, and it shows the resilience of Man City. Keeping clean sheets, scoring the 3 goals with the 3 opportunities, the well-timed substitutions. Man City is showcasing, that they're ready and the back, and the pressure is being applied to Arsenal, and I hope that we can. I'm not saying you are having a go. It's just, that's how I've seen from the game. I've seen Palace better team first half. City have weathered it well, and taken their opportunities well. Palace take their opportunities. Palace probably win this game. City have just been patient. I think Palace have found, good ways to get forward. I think they've missed Munoz today, to be honest. He had a load of quality in that FA Cup final last season, so I think he's been a big loss, and they've lacked just that killer touch, really, in the final third. Pino, if he's, clinical, doesn't hit the crossbar, it goes 1-0 Palace, this becomes a different game. Wharton hits the post, finds the equaliser, so it's them fine moments that separate, what goes right, what goes wrong in the Premier League. So we're into the 3rd minute now with 5 minutes added on. Man City are going to get the job done today. I'm going to get my match reaction up in the next hour for you guys to enjoy. And as I said, we'll be back with another live watch-along for the Brentford game midweek in the League Cup, so I will see you then. So I'll take the opportunity, I'm going to probably end this on the full-time whistle, to say a big thank you to everybody for tuning in today and interacting with me. Much appreciated. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the stream. We're aiming for 100 likes. We are 30 likes away from that, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the comments below. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Plenty more City content to come here on YouTube. Social media links are in the description as well, or on the yellow banner if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Excuse me, and I'll see you all for the next live watch-along on Wednesday, and my match reaction up in the next hour. Just another minute for City to see out. Let's see if there's any full-time scores in the Premier League from the other 2 p.m. games. Remember, you got Brentford against Leeds to look forward to, as that was a poor clearance there from Donnarumma. That could easily have spoilt our clean sheet when it didn't need to be spoilt. I think my man of the match today, I probably have to give it to Erling Haaland for being incredibly clinical. I actually think it's been a real all-round just good team effort from Man City today. Thank you very much, Andy and Alison, for tuning in. Much appreciated. Tuning in from York. Big thank you to Andy as well for tuning in. A big thank you to everybody else. Thank you to everybody for not spoiling today's stream. Seamus, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you to the mods as well. Doing a great job. Much appreciated. I rely on you guys, so I appreciate it. Right, into the final 20 seconds or so. Here's Marmoush then to Ait-Nouri. Here's Savinho. Back to Ait-Nouri. Final 10 seconds or so of the game. Palace managed to win the ball back and they muster up one more attack. There was, a couple of seconds wasted with City making 3 subs. Referee might just think, what's the point? 5 minutes have been added on. We've done the 5 minutes. We'll leave it there. He hasn't. Of course he hasn't. Oh, man. Right, let's have a look at the scores. See if there's any full-time scores. Oh, that's great from Foden. Could this be even better for City as a shot, and it goes over the top of the crossbar in the end. Right, got some full-time scores. Nottingham Forest 3, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Currently West Ham 2, Aston Villa 3. Sunderland are 1-0 up against Newcastle. Man City 3-0 up here. Might just tune into one of the other games, to be honest. Just waiting for the full-time whistle. Dean Henderson to take the goal kick, which will probably end the game. There's another ball on the pitch, so Dean Henderson's got to get rid of that. Don't understand why the referee didn't just blow the full-time whistle. Just wasted everyone's time. Dean Henderson's going to launch this ball, and the referee's going to blow the full-time whistle. Why not just blow the full-time whistle? It's as silly as when the Palace player went off injured and with a hamstring injury, and he had to walk, off at the centre circle to then walk down the touchline when he could have just walked less steps to go down the tunnel. I don't understand. Anyway, full-time whistle goes. Man City win this game by 3-0. Erling Haaland with a brace. Phil Foden scoring the goal. City making it happen. 3 goals, clean sheets. Back to 2 points between Arsenal and Man City at the top of the Premier League, and we'll do battle again next weekend. Man City taking on West Ham United at home in our next Premier League game. Let's have a look at Arsenal's fixtures. Don't know who Arsenal are facing. So Arsenal now, we're thankful, they've got a week's rest. Got a difficult game on Merseyside against Everton away. And actually, before Arsenal next kick a ball, Man City have the chance to go top. If they beat West Ham, we will go 1 point clear of Arsenal with a better goal difference. So it will be a must-win game for Arsenal if we beat West Ham next week at home. So that's a big game. Right, I'm just going to have a look at the other Premier League games that's taking place. You got Sunderland taking on Newcastle. Let's have a quick watch of that till that gets to full time. Not too sure how long's left in the game. I mean, it's into the 6th minute, 4 minutes added on. Newcastle just launched the ball into the box. Sunderland deal with it. Flicked back in by Newcastle, and they're hooked in, and there could be a chance here for Newcastle. Could be a chance. They want a penalty, and it's not a penalty, it's a goal kick. It's a phenomenal win, isn't it, Adrian, against a real good Crystal Palace team. Done wonders for the goal difference. I mean, Crystal Palace, I'll have a look at the Premier League table once we've got full-time here and at the Aston Villa game as well. Sensational effort from Sunderland. Sensational effort. Going to win the Tyne-Wear derby. I look what it means to Sunderland. And a blow for Newcastle. Derby games for you. Newcastle fans unhappy. Sunderland just wasting a load of time. So into the 97th minute now. Barry, thank you very much for helping moderate today's chat as well. Take care, my friend. Now, I imagine as soon as Sunderland have launched this, that the full-time whistle will go. West Ham 2, Aston Villa 3 full-time. So just waiting on the full-time whistle here in this game between Sunderland and Newcastle. Final game taking place. Remember, you've got Brentford against Leeds taking place at 4:30pm GMT. I'm not doing a live watch along with that one. I'll be doing my match reaction to this one, though, which will be up in the next hour. So, last chance here maybe for Newcastle to get one last ball forward. Ramsdale. Newcastle are not going to be given time to launch the ball forward. It's a massive, massive win for Sunderland in the Tyne-Wear derby. Now look what it means to Sunderland. Look what it means to Sunderland. Jubilant, jubilant scenes at the Stadium of Light. There we go. Huge 3 points for Sunderland. So, Premier League table then. Man City, they've moved on to the table up. Man City, they've moved on to 34 points from 16 games. So I've still got another 3 games to go. I always use the halfway marker as a good pointer. Probably looking at, I always aim for 45 points. Obviously, we're not going to be able to reach 45 points. The most we can get to is 43. I'd probably be looking for north of the 40-point barrier after 90 games. So we're looking at, 2 wins from 3 games. Puts us in a position where we can compete with Arsenal. Arsenal are looking good for... I mean, we could do with winning our next 3 games, to be honest. 43 points means that Arsenal are going to need maximum points to win out. And Arsenal's next 3 Premier League games, just having a look at their fixtures to get us to the halfway point, is Everton away, Brighton at home, and Aston Villa at home. In the Premier League, Man City's fixtures coming up in the Premier League, our next 3. We're going to be, obviously, we've got Brentford in the League Cup on Wednesday. But following that, got a match against West Ham at home, followed by Nottingham Forest away, and then Sunderland away from home as well. Sunderland going to be missing a lot of players for the African Nations Cup, so that could have a huge impact. A couple of difficult away games there, really, against Nottingham Forest and against Sunderland as well. City just got to persevere with it, and focus can move on now. We want our players to be fully rotated and well rested, so I've been making 11 changes for me for that game midweek against Brentford. That game kicking off at 7:30 p.m. GMT, so we'll be live at 7 p.m. on Wednesday for the next live watch along for you guys to enjoy. So don't forget, leave a thumbs up on today's stream. Aiming for 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. We're 29 likes away, so any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, do leave your thoughts as well in the comments below. And I'll see you all again real soon. My reaction up in the next hour. And of course, Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT for the City-Brentford game in the League Cup. So I'll see you then. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.